Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, the host of We Need to Talk with Chris Godinez. Whew, just made it in time to sit down and do this show. Holy cow. Okay, so today's topic is the smear campaign, but first I need to get some of the stuff out of the way. So this video is for educational and informational purposes only. If you feel you need a therapist, please go to Google, type in therapy, Psychology Today will pop up, click on that, and it will have all of the therapists in your area. Also, the views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, APA, or any other therapist for that matter. Okay, also, if you guys want to get a hold of me, the best way to do that is to either leave your suggestions or questions underneath the YouTube one, or you can also instant message me. Thank you so much, water. You can instant message me on We Need to Talk with Chris Godinez. You can instant message me on AHA Counseling, the Facebook page, or you can instant message me at Chris Godinez LPC public speaker page. So any of those would be good ones to get a hold of me if you have suggestions for future shows, or if you have a question or things like that. Now, please realize I cannot get to you guys in a really super timely manner because I am booked solid. So I am seeing literally between 33 and 40 people a week. So I'll get to your guys' questions as soon as I possibly can. Okay, so hi guys, glad that you all tuned in. Okay, so oh, and also, if you could pretty please leave my internet page just for my clients, that would be super awesome because, like I said, I'm getting slammed here. So anyway, okay, so the smear campaign, let's talk about that. So one of the most disheartening things that I think a target of abuse goes through is the discard, devalue, and smear. And it's heartbreaking to us because we have put so much energy and so much time into the abuser because we've been trying to heal, fix them, help them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's shocking to us when they go through the discard, devalue, or the devalue, discard, and smear. So I want to point out, though, that this behavior has been there the whole time. It has been there the whole time. You just don't know it. So what happens is that the narcissist, the abuser, shows their true colors in the very, very beginning. After the love bombing phase, they start then systematically getting rid of family and friends, and they start smearing them. They start saying horrible things about them. They start turning every single thing that they've ever done good for the victim, the target of abuse, into something nefarious. And they start lying to them, and they start gaslighting the target of abuse, and they start convincing them that the family and the friends are really the evil person or the narcissist themselves or the abuser themselves or blah, 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 blah. It does get kind of interesting, though, because the target of abuse is so invested in keeping the relationship with the abuser that they will literally throw away their family and friends, even their own children. And they do this in order to appease the abuser. And the abuser will oftentimes try to supplant their kids instead of the target of abuse's kids. So they'll supplant their children in as the only thing that matters. So it's heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking to family and friends to see this happen. So what happens is that the abuser starts a smear campaign with the family and the friends. Now here's the crazy thing. The abuser will use words because the abuser doesn't have anything else. Their actions cannot match their words because they're abusers. But what they will do is they will gaslight the target of abuse, and they will start lying. Oh, well, they only did this because of that, and they're only saying this because of this, and da-da-da-da-da-da. Bunch of lies, or triangulation. Well, so-and-so said such and such about you, or so-and-so said such and such about ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And so what they start doing is they start isolating the target of abuse. Now, the target of abuse oftentimes does not even recognize this as a smear campaign. They think that the abuser is looking out for their best interest. They think that the abuser is telling them the truth. And the abuser, of course, has to be the expert in everything. So they will be the expert in psychology. They will be the expert in child psychology. They'll be the expert in basically everything. And they will try to level people. So in other words, leveling. So what happens is if the target of abuse recognizes that there's something off, the abuser will do everything that they can to keep the target of abuse from going to therapy. And if the target of abuse does get into therapy, they'll start leveling the therapist. In other words, they know more than the therapist does. And they'll start saying things like, oh, I know more, and this is wrong, and let me use this psychological. And they'll use psychobabble. They'll study enough psychology to do the psychobabble on the target of abuse, and the target of abuse will think that it sounds reasonable. It's not, because they don't have the master's degree, they don't have the PhD, they don't have the whatever it is, and they don't have the years in the field. And they're using the psychobabble to isolate the target of abuse. So what ends up happening is that the target of abuse starts feeling like the family and friends are evil and bad and wrong, and that it's perfectly okay to get rid of them, and or that what the other thing that the abuser does is that they isolate the victim to the point where the abuser is demanding that the target of abuse run every communication with family and friends through them first. That's abuse, guys. I'm sorry. If you cannot have a conversation with your family and friends without having to run it through your partner first, there's abuse going on. There's abuse going on, period. I'm going to call it as I see it. That is abuse. So if you cannot have a private conversation with a family member or a friend, and the abuser, your partner, demands, or parent, or whoever else the abuser is, demands that they see what you're saying and that they tell you what to say, and they're telling you what to say, then you're with an abuser. Plain and fucking simple. I cannot make it any clearer than that. Adults have their own conversations. Adults can talk to whoever they want to. And what the abuser will do is that they will isolate them from their own family and friends, supplant that with their family and friends, and then tell them, oh, you're not being isolated. You have plenty of friends. Well, you have plenty of friends that are not your family and friends. You have plenty of friends that are your partner's friends. Now, let me clear this up. In a healthy relationship, the couples have both. The couples have their own friends, and then they have mutual friends, and then they have other friends. Do you see where I'm going with that? It's like it's a mixture, and you're not jealous, and you're not petty, and you're not reading over your partner's shoulder wanting to know exactly what's being said. And the reason they're doing that is because when the family and the friends see the abuser for what they is, the abuser knows it, and now they're trying desperately to control the information. Okay, sorry, just wanted to get this all out of the way. So hi guys, just wanted to say hi to everybody who's been saying hi. Hi Chris, as you just mentioned, the smear starts from day one, yes. And we don't recognize it. We absolutely don't recognize it because they're talking about other people. And watch how they talk about other people, because they're always not nice about other people, always. It's like they can never find the silver lining, ever. And if they do, it's to try to impress, and it's during that love bombing phase. I often wonder when people say their abuser didn't show any signs until much later on. No, we just didn't recognize the signs until much later on, because remember, we're in the fog. We're in fear. We're in obligation. We are in guilt. We are in terror. It is no bueno. It is no bueno. So yeah, we are in fear, we are in guilt, and we are in obligation at that point. Okay. Do you think that every abuser shows red flags? Yes, from day one. You bet. You got to know what you're looking for, though. Yeah, they do. They absolutely show red flags from day one. So for example, anybody who is desperate for you to like them from day one, that's a red flag. I'm sorry, relationships take time. And friendships with the family and friends take time. So if an abuser is desperate to be friends immediately with the best friend, or with the family, or the sister, or the brother, or the aunt, or the whoever, and desperately wants them to, like, I need this to work, I need this to work, I need this to work. Hello? That's a red flag. That's a huge red flag, because people, healthy, normal people, take their time to know each other. And what you will find happening is the abuser will refuse every opportunity to go actually meet with that person, because they already know that you see who they are. So there is that. Do you think every abuser shows red flags from day one? I suppose it depends on our level of awareness and how skilled they are to hide bad behavior. Some are better at hiding it than others, but generally you listen for the vibes. You watch for the vibes. How does this person make you feel? What's the vibe that they're giving? And trust your gut. This is the biggest thing, is that we have been conditioned and trained as targets of abuse from our parents, or whoever our caregiver was, or whoever our first romantic partner was, to not listen to our gut. Why? Because the abusers don't want us to listen to our intuition. Our intuition has been screaming at us usually. And yet, it's like with the gaslighting. So they'll come in and they'll lie to us, and they'll say, no, I didn't really say that, or no, I didn't mean that, or no, you really did say that. And then they start fucking with our heads, and then we stop listening to our gut and we start listening to them instead. Never give up your power, ever, to anybody. I don't care who the fuck they think they are. Never stop listening to your gut. Your gut will never lie to you. This, the heart, will lie to you. This, the head, will fuck with you. The gut never does. It never does. Listen to your gut. And the one thing that abusers do not want us to do is listen to our gut. Because when we listen to our gut, we always make the right choice. When we listen to this or we listen to this, we get fucked up. But when we listen to our gut, we always make the right choice. Okay. Hold on. Oh, hi, Kelly. Glad you could tune in live. I recognize the red flags from day one, but I chose to ignore my gut instinct. Yes, I'm finding it hard to forgive myself. Forgive yourself, sweetheart. Forgive yourself. We have been conditioned. We have been groomed. Okay. Think of it as grooming. So when somebody wants to manipulate and control us, they groom us. They teach us how to behave. So if we have had caregivers that were absentee or inconsistent, remember that insecure attachment or that dismissive insecure attachment style? When we get with an abuser who reminds us of that original wound, this is why it's hugely important that we all work on our original wound with that caregiver that created that insecure attachment in the first place. We have been groomed on how to behave. If we don't toe the line, if we don't do exactly what our abuser tells us or wants us to do, guess what they do? They punish. They punish. They punish us by stonewalling. They punish us by keeping us up at night. They punish us by belittling us. They punish us by humiliating us in public. They punish us financially. They punish. That's what they do. So because of that, the inner child, and somebody asked me to speak more about this, the inner child is desperate to appease the abuser in order to stay safe. So who's running the show? Not the adult. It's your 5-year-old. That's never a good thing. You never want to hand the keys of a car to a 5-year-old. You really don't. So it's really, really important to get with a damn good therapist who understands domestic violence, who understands personality disorders, who understands narcissistic survival syndrome. I think I just named it wrong, but it's basically that. It's like narcissistic abuse syndrome. So who understands that it's the 5-year-old that's running things and trying to appease the abuser. You've got to work on that. If you don't work on that, you are so going to keep getting involved in abusive relationships, and you will find the similar type over and over and over, or worse, which is no bueno. Okay. All right. Yes, I keep saying knowing a person takes time. Absolutely. If you are calling somebody your boyfriend or girlfriend within a month of knowing them, they're Houston, you got a problem. It takes a long time to see people. And for covert narcissists who are experts at wearing that mask, you want to take as long as you can to get to know them before you start calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend, before you move in together, before you get married, et cetera, and see how they deal with life's punches. Healthy, normal people, yeah, they may have bad days, for sure, but they're never going to blame you. They're never going to put you down. They're never going to go, you guns. They're not going to do any of that shit. They're going to take their own responsibility. They may be in a bad mood, but they'll own it. They won't say, you made me. You made me. You can't make another person anything. You choose. It's a personal fucking choice, personal responsibility, which is something that narcissists cannot do. And we're going to talk more about that in the smear campaign. Hold on. I recognize the red flags from day one, but I chose to ignore my gut instinct. Okay, talked about that. So true. After being neglected for years by parents, the love bombing felt like soulmates. Oh my God, yes, this is what they will do. We were meant to be. We are soulmates. This was everything. I am your everything. I am your mirror. The reason they do that is because they need you to buy into the fact that there is no one else out there that will have them. So what I see narcissists do, like the malignant ones, like the way far end of the spectrum, is they will sabotage their mate, do things to publicly humiliate them, create situations where they have blackmailing material to use on them, i.e. revenge porn, etc. And then when the mate gets ready to leave, that's when suddenly all of that comes out. Well, if you leave me, I'm going to publicize this. And thank God now we're getting more and more laws about revenge porn. But what I've seen narcissists do is get their mate involved in a threesome or an orgy, tape it, and then threaten to release that, to humiliate them, degrade them, take them down a notch, especially if there's some sort of professional kind of thing. So yes, they will use that. They'll use your past against you. They will mine your past and use it against you in the smear campaign. And if there is nothing that they can get, like like you live a good, healthy life and there's nothing that they can get against you, they'll manufacture shit. They'll make shit up. They will do the whole, well, so-and-so said such and such about you, blah, blah, blah. The smear campaign. And what you want to do is, great, who is this person? Because I'll be needing to sue them for slander. Have fun with that. And suddenly those people disappear. Does that make sense? So it's all intimidation. It's all intimidation, and it's all control. It's all about power and control. Okay. Okay. All right. So no other questions right now. Okay. So the smear campaign starts way, way, way in the back. It starts at the beginning, and who they're smearing is your family and your friends, and they're isolating you. And targets of abuse don't recognize it because the abusers supplants your friends and your family with their friends and family. And that's why they keep going, oh, well, you're not isolated. You've got all these people. You're not isolated. You've got all these people. But if you're unable to have a conversation with your family or friends without them looking over your shoulder, without them telling you what to say, without them demanding to know what was said, that's the other big clue. If you feel you have to run back to your partner or your abuser and tell them everything that was said, guess what? You're in an abusive relationship. Sorry, because you know what? Healthy, normal partners trust each other and they don't care. They don't. It's like, hey, I'm in a healthy, normal relationship. You know, go have fun with your family and friends. I'll see you in 5 hours, 6 hours, whatever. There's no threat. But to a narcissist, everything is a threat. Everything is a threat. Friends are threats. Family are threats. Children are threats. Pets can be threats. I have seen abusers kill pets because they were so jealous of them. They are batshit crazy. Can't say that enough. Okay. My ex used to love to blackmail to keep me in the relationship. Yes. He used to covertly record me after he provoked me or harmed me just to showcase my responses, not his actions. Okay. So this is something that I thought was, somebody brought this up and I can't remember who it was, but it was one of the listeners, and they said something really important. During the smear campaign, the abuser will out you for all the horrible things that you've done, but they will conveniently leave out what they have done. And watch how they talk about other people. If they cannot say anything nice about anybody, you're dealing with an abuser. You're dealing with an abuser. I'm sorry. It's like, it's amazing. And they will accuse people of the very things that they are doing. So they will, in their smear campaign, what they will do is they will say, you're controlling, you're manipulative, you're the abuser, you're you're trying to whatever. I mean, it's like they'll accuse you of the things that they are doing, because that's their realm of experience, because abusers cannot conceive of somebody not being them. So for example, an abuser will go, well, you're the liar, you're lying, you're lying, when it's them that's lying. And they'll try to normalize their lying when they get caught in it. They'll try to normalize the lying by saying, oh, well, everybody lies. No, not everybody does. And certainly not for nefarious purposes, and certainly not to harm a client. So that is what abusers do, is they try to normalize their maladaptive behavior to say that everybody does it. No, they don't. People don't always lie. They don't. And they don't cheat, and they don't steal. And they don't behave like jackasses. I'm sorry, but abusers do. So, okay. Yes, they love to turn the tables. Oh, thank you. I'm glad my hair looks pretty, because pretty much I ran my fingers through it and said, oh my God, the show is starting in 5 minutes. So anyway, thank you, Judy. I appreciate that. Okay. So the smear campaign. So the smear campaign starts way, way, way before. It's just that we are so in the fog. And the 5-year-old is running the show. The inner child is running the show, that we don't recognize the smear campaign when we hear it or when we see it. So when your abuser, when your partner or whoever, your friend, whatever, starts damning people who have been in your life all your life or for many, many years, and starts making accusations about them and twisting and turning things, that's the smear campaign. So what they do is they take any good thing that the family or friends has done for that person and make it evil. They make it nefarious. They make it like, oh, well, they're just doing this to control you, or, oh, they're doing this because they want to have sex with you, or, oh, they're doing this because fill in the blank. So the thing that I have to tell people is watch the actions, not the words. The abuser will lie to you every single fucking time about everybody, and especially about themselves. And you want to listen to the actions. You want to watch the actions. Don't listen to the words, because let me tell you something, 100,000 million times over, actions always speak louder than words. So if they're damning your family or your friend for what they have done, look at what they've done and look at how they've done it. And look at how they talk about you, and look at how they don't smear you, and look at how they do treat you with kindness, and look at how they do care about you. Look at that. Look at those actions. And then listen to the lies that this person is telling you. And oh my God, your gut should be screaming at you at this point. If they're trying to tell you that your family and friends are out to get you and are evil and bad and want to sleep with you and blah, 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 whatever the bullshit is, but this person is trying to turn you against them. Hello, wake up, smell the coffee grounds. This person is an abuser. They're trying to isolate you, and they're trying to replace your family and friends with theirs, because those are their flying monkeys and you can be more easily manipulated. Have fun with that. So there is that. Hey, Joanna, how you doing? Okay, I left a narcissist sociopath. However, I have a narc mother and narc sister that have smeared me to the point I have no family or friends, no support. Okay. All right, so that is going to be the next part that I need to talk about. So the thing that happens to us as targets of abuse, as empaths, is that we care deeply what other people think. You gotta stop that. I mean, not to the point where you're like, fuck you, I'm gonna do whatever. I do what I want. You know, you don't wanna do that. But you gotta stop caring about the bullshit, okay? Because here's the deal. The people who truly love you, the people who truly know you, the people who truly get who you are, can recognize the bullshit when they see it. And they don't give a fuck what the abuser is saying or what the flying monkeys are saying. And that's why it's so important to be vocal about what's going on. When people live in fear and they allow the abuser to keep them in this very tiny little bubble of fear, okay, like fear, 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 I'm so fearful about what people are thinking and feeling and blah, 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 blah. They have control. Stop handing them the control. It doesn't matter what they think. It doesn't matter what they say. It really doesn't, because they're going to do what they're going to do. What's going to show up is the truth always comes out. Always. The truth always comes out. How are you conducting yourself? Who are you really in this world? Are you filled with integrity or are you not? And people who don't have integrity cannot hold the mask of being integrity for very long. Little short bursts, and then it slips, and then they show their true colors. Again, in the long run, and this is a long game, this is not a short game, this is a long game, your behavior is going to show you for who you truly are, and it will show them for who they truly are. And here's the truth. What other people think of us is none of our goddamn business, because we can't control it. We can't. You cannot control the way another person thinks. You really can't. You can make suggestions, you can offer advice, you can help, you can say, hey, read this, but you cannot control what another person thinks. So why bother? It doesn't matter what they think. If they are abusers and they are bent on malignancy, nothing you say is ever going to make a difference. Nothing anybody says is ever going to make a difference unless and until they have a miracle of biblical proportions and realize that they're behaving like complete and total assholes. And that usually doesn't happen with narcissistic abusers. It usually doesn't when they've reached the malignant end of the spectrum. Now, it does happen with the targets of abuse who have picked up the fleas from the abuser. Once the abuser is out of their life, suddenly they go back to the original person who they were before the abuse, and they start making apologies for the way they behaved because they recognize that they were under the influence of an abuser. So this is the thing, is that people often go, oh my God, I see that I'm behaving in this way and I don't like it and blah, 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 blah. Well, hello, you were under the influence of an abuser. When we're 5 years old and we're trying to appease somebody who is harming us, we're going to act like them in order to stay safe, in order to not be punished, in order to not be kept up at night, in order to not be raged at, in order to not be screamed at, in order to not be ... fill in the blanks. So when the abuser is out of the life of the target, they will wake up out of the fog, just like my mom did when my dad died, and they will go, holy shitballs, what have I done? And start making amends. And that's what needs to happen. But it takes consistency, and it takes being willing to own your own shit, basically. Are empaths codependent? Is the Pope Catholic? Yes! us, not all of us, but yes, absolutely, absolutely. Because we want to heal, we want to fix, we want to heal, we want to save, we want to make better, we want to whatever. So that's why I recognize that, there's a reason I was drawn to the helping profession. And I strongly, strongly recommend reading The Disease to Please by Harriet Breaker. Fabulous book. It's basically us learning how to say no and have boundaries. And here's the deal. You can only help people that really truly want the help. When they basically, thumb their nose at you or, flip you off and go, fuck you, bitch, I don't want your help. Stop. Because that happens. Not everybody wants help. The people who want help are the ones who are actually going to be working on themselves, who are going to be reading the books, who are going to be making changes in their lives, who are going to take a really serious self-introspective look and go, what is my part in this? And if they ask for help, great, help them, because those are the ones that really want the help. But if they're sitting there like a narcissist, like a covert narcissist especially, help me, 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 but they're not doing anything to make themselves better, nope, they don't really want the help. So you got to stop. So it's recognizing whether or not somebody truly wants the help or not. Are we codependent to a certain degree? You bet your sweet bippy. Abso-freaking-lutely, which is why I'm saying read The Disease to Please by Harriet Breaker. Excellent, excellent book. Okay. Will you be touching on when the smear campaign is run by the family or parents? Yes. Okay. Flying monkeys. Yes. So parents, remember I was talking about toxic parents. So toxic parents also do this. They will absolutely go after kids, especially if the kids see the abuse. So it's kind of like, I don't know if you read that article I posted on AHA Counseling a few weeks ago. Anyway, it was on whistleblowers. And in the family, there's always going to be a person who sees the shit for what it is. That person is going to be targeted by the abuser. Abso-fucking-lutely, whether that person is the spouse or a child or a cousin or a parent or whatever, or sibling or whatever. They'll be targeted by the rest of the family, and they'll try to make that person get into line by abusing them. And they will abuse by proxy. So the abuser will use the target of abuse to get to the kid who sees what the real thing is, or to the friend who sees what the real thing is, or to the sister or the brother or the cousin or the, whatever, whoever sees what the real issue is. They'll try to use the target of abuse to abuse. It's called abuse by proxy. And they'll use flying monkeys to do that as well. Okay, my mom ran a smear campaign about me, and as an only child, it was her word against mine regarding my childhood troubles, and she tried to get me diagnosed as mentally ill. Got a lot of my friends on her side too. Again, they're going to do and say whatever they do and say. You cannot stop that. It's not your job to stop that. People who know you know the truth. Again, I'm going to say that again. What other people think of us is none of our damn business. And people who are committed to misunderstanding who you are will never change. And that is different, however, from seeing an abuser for what they are. Because an abuser will use that phrase and go, oh, you are committed to misunderstanding me. No, I see who you really are. There's a big difference. So people who, because again, actions speak louder than words. Is the abuser isolating you? Are you no longer in touch with your family and friends? Are you having to have every communication go through your partner or family member or parent or whatever? Are they reading over your shoulder? Are they telling you what to say? Are they telling you how to respond? Are they interfering with private communication between you and your family and your friends? If so, you're with an abuser, period. So it doesn't matter what the abusers say. In the long run, your behavior is going to win out. Who you really are is going to shine through, because that you cannot fake. Consistency over a long time period, narcissists can't do it. They just can't do it. They end up giving themselves away, which is the beautiful thing. They basically tell you exactly what they're going to do. They lay it out, and then they execute it, and then they can't keep it up because they're personality disorder. So there is that. Okay. It took me the longest time to finally understand that we can't control what other people think of us. Yes. And it's hard, because think about it. We are conditioned to, what's the word I'm looking for? To care what other people think. We are conditioned to do that. We are conditioned to care what other people think because they're our caregivers, or they are our abuser, or whatever. And so we care deeply what they think because we're trying to stay out of trouble. We're trying to stay out of trouble. And that's that inner child thing. So let me talk a moment about the inner child thing, because our inner child is so fearful of being punished, because our inner child is so fearful of abandonment, because our inner child, whoever our caregiver was or whoever it was that groomed us to be abused by an abuser, because of that, we've got to work on the inner child work. So somebody asked me to do a little bit on how to work on the inner child. So what I recommend, guys, is go get a therapist. Seriously, if you cannot afford a therapist, because this is something else that people are telling me that I find somewhat shocking in this day and age. A lot of people from the UK are telling me that the National Health System, the NHS, I guess it is just sucks ass, basically, and that it's impossible to get a good therapist, or it's impossible to get in a timely manner. And so people are like emailing me and texting me and IMing me going, oh my God, help me, help me, help me. I can't get into a therapist for like 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, a year. And the ones that they're giving me are terrible. What do I do? So, okay, I don't know enough about the British system to tell you, but what I would suggest is if you can find a life coach, that would be the next best thing. However, life coaches can be expensive. And again, it's going to be hit or miss. So here are two that I work with that I trust. And one of them is super expensive and the other one is not. So Lauren Archibek, who runs The Growth Company. She does NLP. She is here out of Mesa. She prefers to do things face-to-face. I'm pretty sure she could do life coaching over the phone, though, if she's so interested. I don't know if she's still doing that or if she's just doing the NLP stuff, because she's fucking amazing. I really love her. And the other one is Rick Point. He is out of Iowa. He is a life coach. He totally gets addictions, totally. And he understands that abusive relationships are just as addictive as heroin, crack, alcohol, you name it, he gets it. So he totally gets it. So he's another life coach that I would totally recommend. And he could do Skype and phone sessions. The sucky thing about having a license is, one, it gives you credibility, but two, because of the licensure and because each state is so interested in making their own money, there's no portability. In other words, I can't cross state lines. I can't. I wish I could, but I can't take on clients outside of the state of Arizona, which really sucks ass because I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. I don't know why, that just popped in my head, that old Coke song. But yeah, so call a life coach. If you cannot get a hold of a good therapist, start looking at life coaches, but really, really investigate them as well. Because again, life coaches are like therapists. You got to find one that has got the proper training, that knows what they're doing, that isn't just a fly-by-night, hey, I decided to take a weekend course and now I'm a life coach. You want somebody who's done like a year program. You want somebody who knows what they're doing. And you also want to know why they got involved in it. So yeah, and Rick is awesome. I love him. He is out of Iowa, Rick Point. I'll put his phone number up probably on YouTube, or I can put it up here at some point. But he's really good, and so is Lauren Archibek. So these guys are in America, though. I don't know who to get in the UK. So, but I would start looking at alternatives in order to find out. So really care before I lose my thought, because I have a tendency to do that. So inner child work. Get with a therapist if you can. If you cannot, it is going to be a little bit of meditation. So what I suggest with my clients is to go somewhere incredibly safe in your head. Okay, a beach, a mountain, a forest, a meadow, something. And you imagine yourself sitting there, and then you call your child to you, your inner child. How old are they? That's going to tell you a lot of information. How old are you? What age are you? What do you look like? What are you wearing? What is the look on your face? Then you call them to come sit on your lap, and you just hold them and rock them. And then you ask them, what do you need? What do you need? And 9 times out of 10, the poor little kid is probably sobbing and just saying, I just need to be loved. I just need to be held. I just need to be safe. I just need to be protected. And then you, by God, do that. I've got your back, little one. It's okay. You're safe. Everything's all right. Nothing's going to hurt you anymore. I am going to protect you. I gotcha. And you just do that. And then when the little one feels safe, send them off to go play. And then you can call them back to you every single time you do a meditation, and keep healing that age. The other thing you're going to want to do is write it down. Get it out of your head, get it onto paper. So the thing about the brain is that if we just ruminate about it, if we just sit there and chew it over like, like cows do cud, like, nom, nom, nom. If we just do that, it's not ever going to get fixed. But if we get it out of our head and we get it onto paper, our brain suddenly goes, oh, I've done something with this. Okay, I can start letting it go. That's why journaling is so important. And it doesn't have to be a ginormous, dear journal, blah, blah, blah. It can be as simple as, holy shit, saw my inner child, 5 years old, ragged, terrified, what the fuck? There you go. Out of your head onto paper. Burn it. Let it go. And then keep writing, keep journaling, keep getting it out of your head. Anytime you have a thought that's pervasive or something that's fearful to you, get it out of your head, get it onto paper, trot it out to the barbecue, read it out loud once, burn it, let it go. Because what we tend to do when we have fear, especially as a small child, is we hang on to stuff as a maladaptive way of staying safe. So for me, and I know I've talked about this before, but I'm going to talk about it again, with my dad. I was angry at him. I was hugely angry at him. I was so goddamn angry at him. And I held on to that anger for fucking years. What I didn't realize is that my little inner child was trying desperately to keep him alive. It was a maladaptive way of keeping him alive so that I could save him. Wow. Yeah, so that's why you want to work on that stuff so that you can let go of the shit that you don't need. This was baggage I didn't need. I couldn't fix him. I couldn't heal him. I couldn't save him. But my little 5-year-old so desperately wanted to save him that I just stayed angry at him just so I could keep him near me. Wow. Let it go. Let it go. Start working on the inner child. That's really going to help you. Now, the other thing that people were asking me about was the mirror work. So, because again, these are for the people who are having a hard time getting a therapist and are having to do the work on their own. So I'm going to give you as much information as I can. So the mirror work is when you wake up in the morning, go use the bathroom, brush your teeth, do whatever you need to do, come back to a full-length mirror if you can. Now, Richie and I have had debates on this. Richie is like, hey, some abusees cannot even look at themselves in the mirror. Okay, great. If you can't stand looking at yourself in the mirror, at the very least, I want you to do positive affirmations. I want you in the morning to wake up and say, wow, I'm breathing. This is awesome. Gratitude. Hello. Goes a long way. I like breathing. That's great. If you can't say I like myself, at least you can say I like breathing. Because that's a pretty much true statement, right? Everybody likes breathing. Breathing is good. Otherwise, you keel over. So I like breathing. And then you can progress to I like myself. Holy cow. The other thing I suggest is if you can't look in the mirror to do those positive affirmations, you write them down. Write yourself a love letter. I had one client, it was the funniest damn thing. They did it as a Civil War love letter, my dearest Alicia. I'm like, wow, that was really cool. And then they posted it somewhere where they could see it. So mirror work is where you stand in front of the mirror, you wash your hands, go to the bathroom, do whatever you need to do, come back to the mirror. You make eye contact with yourself and you say, hi, I'm really glad to see you. Because how does that feel when somebody says they're really glad to see you? It's a good thing. You like it. And it feels really good coming from you. So I'm really glad to see you. Go have a wonderful day. And I give you permission to think of the positive stuff. You give yourself permission. Because what we do is we are so conditioned to think of the negative. Why? Because we're trying to stay safe all the time, because our little up periscope, our little subconscious is looking for danger, looking for danger, looking for danger, looking for danger all the time when we're in an abusive relationship. Why? Because our abuser is looking for an excuse to abuse us. They are. And if they're not looking for an excuse to abuse us, they're trying to find somebody they can blame. We'll talk about that. So, okay. So you want to do that. You want to focus on the positive. You want to give yourself permission to focus on the positive. At night, when you come home, do the same thing. You're getting ready for bed, brush your teeth, do whatever you need to do, because you all need to brush your teeth twice a day. Little public service announcement. So, brush your teeth, do whatever you need to do, come back, look in the full-length mirror, make eye contact with yourself and go, hi, it's good to see you again. Let me tell you 3 things you did right today. Because we don't. If 99 things go right and 1 thing goes wrong, what do we focus on? We focus on the one goddamn thing that went wrong. So you want to start training your brain to get out of that negative thinking, because abusers want us to think in that negative way. Everything's bad. Everything's scary. Everything's desperate. Everything's at survival. Everything's not enough. Everything's not enough. Everything's not enough. Everything's not enough. Does this sound familiar to anybody? So they want to keep us at survival. They want to keep us in fear. They want to keep us in lack and scarcity. So you've got to start training your brain to start seeing the positive. What went right? And in the morning, gratitude. I'm breathing. That's awesome. Wow, the sun is shining. That's great. Hey, I can hear that bird. Wow, that's so cool. The positive stuff, positive stuff, positive stuff. So the other thing that I want you to do too is if you're having a hard time finding a therapist and you're in the UK, get onto YouTube, watch videos. Take what works, toss the rest, basically. Trust your gut, trust your gut, trust your gut. Read as much as you can. Get The Self-Esteem Workbook by Schiraldi. Get The Disease to Please by Harriet Breaker. Get The Object of My Affection is in My Reflection, Coping with a Narcissist by Raquel Lerner. Get Stop Walking on Eggshells by Randy Krieger, and get the book and the workbook, because it will teach you how to deal with somebody with borderline personality disorder. If you have personality disorder, if you have borderline personality disorder, I'm talking traits of, not full blown. If you have borderline personality disorder, a great book to help is The Borderline Survival Guide by Chapman and Gratz. So yeah, there's things you can do to help, hair attached, hello, things you can do to help yourself. So read as much as you can. Support groups, get into a support group. That would be another great thing to do. Get free therapy. You can get free therapy through Catholic Charities, Jewish Family Services, especially for domestic violence. I know those two have programs for that. The other thing you can do is you can call a university. So all universities have practicum students. Every single university, if they have a psychology department, has got practicum students, and they need to practice. And I often hear people go, I don't want it, blah, blah. Okay, I'm sorry. You can't afford therapy. You can't get therapy. It's better to go try. Go get a therapist. Go to a university, ask them about their practicum programs, and it's usually 6 to 8 week sessions. And so you'll get at least 6 to 8 sessions in. And again, grain of salt, take what works, toss the rest. Does that make sense? Educate yourself. Educate the hell out of yourself. That is the best thing you can do. Okay, smear campaign. There was a really important point I was going to make, and I lost my train of thought because the choo-choo ran off the tracks. Okay, I will find it eventually, I hope. Okay. Okay, where was I? Oh, good. Hi, Stephanie. I'm glad you found me too. Okay. Yes, after I caught him lying and he could not get out of it, his response was, well, I am sure you lied to me before too. Yeah, they do that. They absolutely try to justify their behavior, and they say that everybody does it. And no, not everybody does. Okay, are empaths codependent? Yes, we talked about that. Family and friends, we talked about that. Okay, yeah, you can't control what they say or what they think. Really can't. Not our business, not our concern. The people who love you and know who you are. And the people who are swayed by a narcissist don't. So end of discussion, you know? And in the long run, like I said, this is a long-term thing. Your behavior will be consistent and theirs won't. And that is going to be the proof in the pudding, because consistency is everything. It's who you are over time. And narcissists cannot maintain. They can't. That mask will slip. So there's that. I recently set boundaries with my histrionic narcissistic mother. She lost her shit. Yeah, that's what they do. I told her I was cutting our contact way down and would not tolerate her verbal abuse anymore. So she hired my brother and niece as her flying monkeys for guilt, to guilt trip me into contacting her again, and made sure to spoon feed them to tell me, you will miss your mother when she is gone if you don't have her in your life anymore. It's always about her, and I just don't want her abuse, invalidation, and criticism anymore. Yes. So here's the question I ask all of my clients. If you were not related to them, would you have anything to do with them? And if the answer is no, act accordingly, period. I pretty much went gray rock with my dad and gray rock with my mom, because they were both, God love them, batshit crazy. I mean, like batshit crazy. And she got better after he died because his influence was no longer there. He was borderline with narcissistic expression. So she was, you know, a target of abuse herself. Not excusing it, but it certainly explains it. So, yeah, you got to go gray rock with them, or you got to go no contact. And you don't have to explain your behavior to anybody. If this is what's going to support you and this is what's going to keep you sane, then you do what you need to do. And yes, they will use whatever flying monkeys they can, and they will use whatever smear campaign they can. Look at how horrible you're being, blah, blah, blah. And again, I'm going to use the Bible. So their favorite line is, honor thy mother and father. So you owe it to me. But the very next line is, parents, do not provoke your children to anger. Boom. Spiritual mic drop. Bam. It's in the Bible. Check it out. So that's what I use whenever a narcissist starts pulling that bullshit. So yeah, you don't want to go there. Yeah, and draw boundaries. And we're coming up on the holidays, guys. We're coming up on the holidays. So that means that you're going to have, if you've got a narcissist as a parent or a sibling or a spouse or whatever, or a mother-in-law, oh God, you're going to have a bunch of bullshit going on, and you have a right to say no, and you have a right to leave the state if you want to and go do your own holiday somewhere else, or you have a right to just stay at home and do your own holiday. You owe these people nothing. Zip, zero, zilch, nada, not a goddamn thing. Go do your own thing. Go do your own thing. Go have your own holiday traditions. Go do whatever it is will make you happy. You do not have to do any sort of family gathering where there is going to be abuse. You don't, period. So there that is. Yeah, draw boundaries. And here's the thing. When we start drawing boundaries with the abuser, when we start drawing boundaries with the flying monkeys, is there going to be backlash? Abso-fucking-lutely. Yes, they are absolutely going to backlash. They are going to have a little hissy fit, just like a 2-year-old, because that's pretty much how old they are. So when that happens, you just kind of deal with it like you deal with a 2-year-old. Yeah, that's interesting. Are you done? Yeah, look at the time. You give them nothing. You give them nothing. So part of the backlashing and part of the temper tantrums and part of all of that, again, is an attempt to control and to manipulate. That's what they do. They don't know how any other way to behave. And that's not excusing their behavior. I'm just saying that that's why they're doing it. It's an attempt to control you, to force you back into the fold, to force you back into your old behavior so that they can continue to manipulate, control, abuse. So yeah, so that's what the temper tantrum is about. And people are afraid of it. People are like, oh my God, but if I draw boundaries, it's going to get worse. Yes, abso-fucking-lutely. For a short period of time, it will. But in the long run, one of two things will happen. If they are truly malignant, then yeah, you're going to be having to deal with this for a while, and that's fine because your sanity is worth getting them out of your life. If they are not truly malignant, if they can be trained, if they're down at the lower end of the spectrum as opposed to the malignant end of the spectrum, the behavior will stop or it will lessen because they recognize they're not going to get their way anymore. So it's only good. And here's the other thing. You are modeling for the children how you are in this world. And if you're allowing somebody to mow over you, if you're allowing somebody to manipulate you, if you're allowing somebody to harm you, if you're allowing somebody to guilt trip you into doing whatever, you're modeling for them how to be in this world. And you can't do that. You have got to be the Rock of Gibraltar. And if somebody's trying to manipulate or control you, you do not put up with it. Especially if you have kids, because you're showing them how to be in this world. Okay, hope that answered that question. Okay. Okay. I'm the daughter-in-law, scapegoat, and smear target. This often happens. Boy, some mother-in-laws, I'm telling you. They are out of our lives now, haven't seen their only grandchild since she was 8 months old. She's 5 now. Good for you. Absolutely good for you. So one of the things, and I've talked about this before, one of the things that I hear from people is, oh my gosh, I can't do that. It's their only grandchild. Okay, take a step back, guys. If they're abusing you, if they are manipulating you, what do you think they're going to do to that kid? Yeah, they're going to be trying to manipulate that child. And what they will do is they'll try to be the Disneyland grandparent, kind of like the Disneyland dad. That's what's, male abusers often do. Sometimes female abusers often do. So they will try to bribe the child to love them. They'll try to manipulate the child, and they'll want to be around that child until that child is about 4 or 5 years old, when they start getting their own opinions on things. And then I'm telling you, the abuser can't stand it because now the child is no longer dependent and the child is getting their own opinions. And no is really favorite word of theirs. And boy, abusers don't like the word no. So yeah, that's kind of, if your parents were abusive and you've got them out of your life, do not feel guilty about keeping them away from your own children. You want to break this cycle. Abso-fucking-lutely. It is okay to not have somebody in your child's life. And are they missing out? No, because they're a narcissist. They're not going to ever behave like a normal person ever. That's what people don't get, because I think in their head, and a friend of mine made a really good point, people miss the parent or the grandparent that they wished they'd had, not who they really had. So if your parent was a narcissist, if your parent was malignant, borderline, we miss the parent that we could have had or that we wished we could have had. That's what we're missing. It's not what we had, it's what we wish we had. So if you read my book, What's Wrong with Your Dad, in there I make a very, poignant point about when my dad died. We were all sitting around the table, and my brother was just like, recounting all the horrible things that my dad did to him. He abused him horribly. I mean, physically abused him. And, it was along the lines of, if only he could have been the fun dad, if only he could have had fun, if only he could have allowed himself to enjoy life, if only. And that's what it was. We didn't miss who he was. We missed what he could have been. And that's where we get stuck. And that's where we do this whole thing about, oh, but they need the grandkids. No, this person is not a normal parent. They're never going to be a normal grandparent. Do not subject your children to that. We're missing what we could have had. So that's why we got to heal that inner wound. We got to heal that inner child. We got to work on that so we get rid of those mistaken thoughts and mistaken beliefs. Okay. And getting back to the in-law thing. So it's really difficult because, and depending on culture, now I've had a lot of people from India tell me that there is a lot of mother-in-law issues going on. And apparently there is a great deal of power and control issues in that particular culture with females. And I, unfortunately, am not trained enough in that culture to be able to give really clear, good advice as to what to do, because it's a different culture and there's a different thing that goes on between mother-in-laws and daughter-in-laws there than is here. But what I can speak to here, at least, and it might be the same, and I'm caveating this because I don't know, because I have not lived in India and I don't know enough about that culture. I know a little bit, but I don't know enough to really advise on that. What I can tell you is that if you have a mother-in-law that is damaging, that is a narcissist, that is attempting to cause problems in your relationship, that is doing things to harm, you need to have your spouse on the same page, which means you probably want to go to a DBT therapist, dialectic behavioral therapy, that is well-versed in domestic violence or in personality disorders, or preferably both, and get the spouse on the same page so that you're both a united front dealing with that particular in-law. So, So from personal experience, that's exactly what John and I did. So we had to get on the same page, working towards the same goal, so that when his mom attempted to divide and conquer, it couldn't work. And that's what narcissists do, is they divide and conquer. They whisper into the spouse's ear, tell a bunch of lies. This is exactly what covert narcissists do to get rid of family and friends. Whisper, lie, tell a bunch of stories over and over again, demand that the abuser or the abused believe it, and they get them listening to the words of the abuser as opposed to the actions of the family and friends. And that's how they get in and they get rid of family and friends. That's how they isolate. That's how they get their target of abuse alone. And that's what happens with mother-in-laws and sons. And it's really important that this all be above board and that it's called out, and that mother-in-law is not allowed to do this bullshit anymore. And they will try to do things like, well, why doesn't so-and-so like me? Triangulation. Why doesn't so-and-so like me? Nuh-uh. We're not discussing this unless and until this person is in the room with us, period. So triangulation and communication is another way to smear. Let's talk about that. Hang on a second. I'm still getting over the cold. I'm better, but I'm still getting over the cold. Hang on. Okay, so triangulation and communication is another way that abusers try to control, and they try to smear. So what they'll do is they will corner somebody. Why don't you love me? So-and-so said such and such. You never ever want to address what so-and-so said unless they're in the room, period. Because what an abuser will do is they will try to do this triangulation of communication, and it's a way to keep things going. In other words, they're the operator. They're the operator. And oftentimes when you call them on that, when you say, nope, I am not going to do that, I need them in the room with us, suddenly it gets dropped. Suddenly they don't want to go to counseling because now the other person will be in the room with you. Or you get them on the phone. Yeah, you said so-and-so said that. Let's get them on the phone. Let's see what they said. Oh, well, and they start backpedaling like nobody's business. So you want to watch for triangulation of communication. It is a way to try to manipulate and control, because the narcissist, the abuser, is the operator in this game of telephone. And what they're doing is they're saying, oh, well, so-and-so said such and such. Okay, let's get them on the phone. Really? Let's get them on the phone. Let's see what was really said. And that's how you blow that game. That's another way to smear. And it's also a way to undermine your security, to try to make you think that other people are talking about you. And it's usually never true. 9 times out of 10, it is not true. Now, if they're dealing with another flying monkey, possibly. But what they try to do is they try to make it so that they've got the goods. They know the information. They're the ones that are in control. They know exactly what's being said. Great, call them. Call it out. Call it out. Get them on the phone. Let's talk to them. Let's get them in the room. Let's get them in therapy. Let's see what's going on, really. So that's what they do. Triangulation of communication is often the way that they try to manipulate and control. And it comes from a position of one down. When you're having to lie about what somebody has said, or you're exaggerating, or you're making shit up, wonder why. So that is a smear campaign. That is absolutely a smear campaign. That is another way to try and smear. Okay. Hey, Gwen, how you doing? Okay. Put together a list for them to ask coaches in the UK and post it. I don't know where you would go to find life coaches in the UK. I really don't. I could do some research on that if I have time. Because again, remember guys, I've got a full schedule. So if somebody else could do that, that would be awesome. Okay, if you don't have access to a good therapist, how about starting a support group? Yeah, that would be great. Support groups are awesome. I wonder if there's a good book to do inner child work. That I am not sure. But a couple of other books I wanted to recommend while I'm suddenly thinking of it is 2 books, actually. One is Radical Acceptance by Tara Brach. Love that book. The other one is Radical Forgiveness by Colin Tipping. Those are both really, really, really good books. Because what happens is, and the Colin Tipping book was really instrumental in helping me let go of Dad, is that, like I said, we get caught up in anger and we want to, keep them close to us and all of this stuff. And it's all about letting go. It's not forgiving. I want to make that very, very fucking clear. I have people going, fuck you, I'm not forgiving. You don't have to, sweetheart. Calm down. You don't have to forgive, but you do have to have compassion, starting with yourself and hopefully at some point for them. And then eventually you'll let it go and eventually you'll forgive. But that's way down the line because first of all, you have to get through the anger first. Drives me crazy when therapists are like, oh, you have to forgive them, you have to forgive them, you have to forgive them. No, you got to get through the anger. Then you can start thinking about compassion. Then you can start thinking about forgiveness at some point in time if you want. And if not, that's okay. It's your choice. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of compassion and forgiveness are 2 different things. You can have compassion for somebody, but still not appreciate what they did to you. So in other words, there is a difference between having compassion and understanding why they behaved some way and having idiot compassion, whereas you go, oh, I feel sorry for them, so I'm going to keep them in my life and I'm going to let them keep abusing me. No, that's idiot compassion. And Pema Chodron, who's the American Buddhist nun, talks about this. So you can understand where somebody is coming from, but you don't have to keep them in your life. Absolutely. And just because you forgive somebody also does not mean that they get a free pass and they keep getting to do it. That's idiot compassion. So forgiveness is for you. It's not for them. It's for you. You forgive you. You let it go. You let go of this anger. You let go of this hatred. You let go of this resentment. Because remember, anger and hatred and resentment and wanting to harm and wanting to get revenge, because that's often what I hear sometimes from some targets of abuse, is that they want revenge. They want their abuser to get what they did. They want their abuser to understand. They want their abuser to whatever, fill in the blank. And so they're carrying around this anger. It's like picking up 2 hot coals, intending to throw it at somebody else, but who's the only person getting burned? That would be you. So that's why it's important to work on forgiveness and compassion for yourself. For yourself. Fuck the abuser. It's about you. Okay? Compassion and forgiveness is about you. It's about letting those coals drop to the ground and stop hurting yourself. Stop giving your abuser the power to harm you. Even when they're gone, we do that. We hand over our power. Why? We ruminate. We think about what they've been saying. We think about what they did to us. We think about all the horrible things they said. We've picked up fleas. So that's why it's important to start working on ourselves. It's not ever about the abuser. It's about us. It's about working on us. It's about getting better. Okay. Kelton, it's okay. Sorry you're late to class. You can always pick it up later. Okay. Chris, please put out a shout for the UK folks. The Echo Society. They totally get narcissistic abuse and have counselors who Skype. Oh, Maria, I fucking love you. Thank you. Okay, so guys in the UK, here it is. The Echo Society. I don't know what that is, but we'll find out and put more up there. Okay, the Echo Society, they totally get narcissistic abuse and have counselors who Skype. Fan-fucking-tastic. Check it out. Let me know if that is helpful, guys, because that really helps. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Hey, Christopher, how you doing? What do you do if the smear is successful? Okay, so they've smeared you. So they have attempted to ruin your reputation, yada, yada, yada. Okay, now what? You can't change it. It is what it is. You pick up the pieces and you move forward with your head held high and you keep going. And people will believe what they want to believe. Some people will believe the abuser and some people will believe you. So that's it. It's kind of like I told a friend of mine the other day, there are events in life that will let you know who your true friends are. Weddings, funerals, and holidays, and leaving an abuser. And it's true because there's nothing you can do. So it was successful, so they quote unquote ruined you. Now, what you are dealing with somebody who is obsessed by doing that is called obsessive X syndrome. So in obsessive X syndrome, they take the smear to the extreme. They will do anything and everything they can to defame you. So what you do in that case is you file an injunction against them. You get a restraining order, and every time they violate it, you call the police, period. I don't know what the laws are in any place other than Arizona, but in Arizona, you have to show that somebody has been harassing you. So somebody who creates false Facebook personas and continually posts to your page nasty things, or who is stalking you, pretending to be other people and you know it's them, or who claims to call the FBI on you, or who tries to get you in trouble with whoever your state board is, or whatever. Those are all narcissistic moves. They're attempts to get you. So what you do is you hire an attorney and you go after them, or you defend yourself. And that's really all you can do. And other than that, you just keep moving forward. That's all you can do. You can't stop it. It's what it is, what it is. They did what they did. The people who believe you are your true friends. The people who believe them are not. And same with the colleagues, you move on and you just keep your head held high and you keep fucking going, and you get with a goddamn good therapist and you work on not caring. Seriously, let it go. They did what they did, so they were successful, so they ruined you. Okay, start over. It's a new world. You can create yourself. Madonna does every 2 years. You can too. So, not that I like Madonna, and honestly, her song Borderline was kind of telling. Anyway, all right. Did I say that out loud? Yes, I did. Okay. Just logged in. Sorry if you actually covered this topic, but do they actually believe the lies they tell about you? Yes, of course they do. Of course they do. So here's the thing. And I think I've covered this in another video, but I'm going to cover it again here. Narcissists believe what they lie. They convince themselves first. That's why they are so good at it. So they tell themselves the lie enough, and they believe what they are saying, that they convince their partner, their friends, their family, their whoever, that they are telling the truth. And they will tell the lie over and over and over again to the point where they have believed it. And to them, the memory has changed and their version of it is reality. It's kind of scary. It really, truly is psychotic thinking. So remember, when I'm talking about malignant narcissists, sorry, oh, lovely colds, hate colds. The only thing they're good for is War of the Worlds. Anyway, so when I'm talking about narcissists who are smearing and obsessive exes who are harming and stalking and doing all these sorts of crazy ball things, calling FBI, etc., what you're talking about is the dark triad. So the dark triad is psychopathy, psychotic thinking, merged with control freak, which is called Machiavellianism, and then narcissism, because they think they're right. Yeah, they do believe what they lie about, and they will have changed the memory. If you go do an MRI scan on somebody who's lying, so they see a thing and then they tell them to intentionally lie about it, it will show the brain lighting up in different areas. The memory is actually changing, and they're actually believing what they lie about. It's insane. But yeah, they will change it. They will lie about it so many times that the truth is gone, and their version of reality is what they remember. Like, truly, that's what they've replaced it with. So they will claim that somebody will have been stalking them or saw them or walked into their office or whatever when that person was nowhere near them. But in their mind, that particular memory is real because they've told it so many times it has become real. It's psychotic thinking. So, and again, the truth will win out. So don't worry about it. This is where people get all freaked out. They're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, this person's doing a smear campaign and they're doing this and they're doing that and blah, 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 blah. Well, that's their intention. They want you to be freaked out. They want you to be scared. They want you to be living in lack and scarcity. They want you to be living in fear. They want you to be living in whatever. Don't give it to them. Just don't give it to them, because the truth will out. It will. And if they're crazy enough to create false personas and stalk you and, you know, try to get you in trouble with your job or whatever, you go file an injunction against them. You do. And then every single time they violate that injunction, you call the police, period. They really have no power over you. They think they do, but they don't. And they use intimidation and lies in order to feel powerful. That's why they are the way they are, because healthy, normal people don't do that. Anyway, okay. Okay, yes, they actually believe the lies. What's the end game for a narcissist? Power and control. Do they continue this for the rest of their lives? Yes, they can. So here's the thing. If you are dealing with a truly malignant dark triad, I would give real money to stop having snot. Oh my God. If you're dealing with a truly malignant dark triad, okay, generally they'll stop when they get another supply. So remember, it's all about narcissistic supply. It's all about who's feeding them. It's all about who's, you know, how are they getting their, how are they getting their little hit? How are they getting their little, you know, sniff of cocaine? How are they getting that little high? So if they're getting their high from threatening and intimidating you and you're terrified, oh my God, that's like fucking cocaine, crack cocaine to them. They love it because they're getting off on it. They're sadistic. Remember I talked about it. They're sadists. These fuckers enjoy inflicting fear and pain and whatever, which is why Grey Rock is so awesome. It's like, yeah, do your worst, motherfucker. Good luck with that. And 9 times out of 10, they see that attitude and they're going to be like, well, shit, that's no fun. And then they stop. But if you are dealing with somebody who is truly batshit crazy, is truly an obsessive X syndrome, is truly a dark triad, who is just vindictive to the nth degree, no, they'll never stop. They'll never stop. But, and you start using the law against them and they'll have to stop because, again, they're all about image. They don't want to be called out for the crazy that they are. They don't want to be arrested. They don't want anything that anybody can use against them because that's what they do to their victims. Does that make sense? They'll use stuff against their targets of abuse, you know, arrest record, pornography, you know, traffic violation, who knows? These people are crazy. So yeah, they will generally stop. Most narcissists will stop once they get another supply. But caveat, when that supply runs out, they will either start up the intimidation again with the former person, you know, you, or they will try to hoover you back, hoover like the vacuum cleaner, sucking it in. So they're trying to suck you back in. So they'll do one of two things. They'll either continue the intimidation or they'll try to suck you back in with the, oh, baby, I've changed. Everything's different. I've gotten help, blah, 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 you know. And a caveat with this too. So here's the deal. If an abuser is really getting help, because again, what I've seen abusers do is they'll say they're getting help and they're not, or they will have gone to therapy once or twice and say they've gotten help. No, if they're getting help, they're in therapy consistently for a year or more. Okay. Now, remember, some people who have been targets of abuse have picked up fleas. Okay. That does not make them an abuser. It makes them picking up fleas. And if they are working on themselves and are in therapy and are consistent, again, consistency is what tells you who is an abuser and who is not. And they are working on themselves, then they're getting better. But I still would not get back into a relationship with them at this point until they prove themselves, basically. But a narcissist won't stay in therapy because well, let me clarify that. They will stay in therapy if they can find a therapist to agree with their version of life. And because not a lot of therapists are well-versed in narcissistic abuse syndrome, there are some therapists that will do that. So if a narcissist can find a therapist that will support their worldview, they'll stay in therapy. If they cannot, they won't. So, and they have to be consistent. So I love it when narcissists go, oh, well, I was in therapy for a year. Well, how often did you go? Oh, you know, once every other month or so. What? No, that's not consistent. That's consistent is once a week. Thank you. So yeah, so that's how you kind of tell that. So the end game for the narc is power and control. It's all about that narcissistic hit. It's all about that that hit of power. It's like the collector in Guardians of the Galaxy. Remember how he would get so excited and that kind of thing. That's exactly what narcs do. That's exactly what they do. It is all about the power and the control. It really is a sexual thing for them. It is like a hit of energy. It is something they feed off of. They love it. So the end game is power and control. Do they continue into their 50s, 60s, and 70s? How do most of them end up? Alone. They end up alone. The only ones who don't, or if they have money and they can pay somebody to be around them. But most narcissists end up by themselves, because eventually the family and the friends will get sick of it, because it's drama all the time and it's draining. And by the time people get into their 50s and 60s, they've got kids or they've got grandkids and they don't have time for this bullshit. They don't have time for it. In their 70s, they usually end up alone. They do. Middle age is generally when the narcissists find out what's going on. It's like the family and friends are done with it. They're done with the drama. They're done with it. And people are starting to get rid of them. They're starting to get rid of the toxic people in their lives, because by the time people hit their 40s, 50s, and 60s, they're like, I'm too old for this shit. I'm done. I'm not playing. So they end up alone. And when my mom was in the care facility that we put her in, there was this one, oh my Lord, she was a somatic narcissist, and she had to have, the makeup on, full-blown makeup. She had to have been 89, 90 years old, full-blown makeup, dressed to the nines, and she was just going down the hall to get lunch. And she had this wait on me, pay attention to me, blah, 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 blah attitude. None of her family ever visited her, ever. And she was so jealous of my mom, because my sister and I were always there visiting my mom, spending time with her, taking her out to lunch, taking care of her, snuggling with her, all of that stuff. And this woman was just pathetically jealous, because nobody paid attention to her. Nobody liked her. She was mean. She was mean. She would swear at the staff. She would, put them down and tell them what, how belittle, how they were beneath her because they were her servants, kind of thing. That's how narcissists act. They really, truly watch how they treat wait staff, guys. Watch how they treat people who can offer them nothing. If they treat wait staff terribly, if they don't tip well, if they don't treat people who can offer them nothing well, then you're dealing with a narcissist. Seriously, because they cannot see the value in another person, and they will put down other people in order to make themselves feel good. So they're always, watch how they talk. Are they always putting other people down, or do they try to find the silver lining? They're always going to be putting people down. They're always going to be looking at what's wrong. What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? That's what they do. They don't ever see the good in anybody. They don't. And they hate people, and they will say it. Oh, I hate the people I work with. I hate my clientele. I hate this. I hate that. I had a professor one time at the University of Phoenix. Couldn't stand the guy. He was such an arrogant little shit. And I'm looking at it now going, oh, well, that's because he was a narcissist. Hello. But this guy, and I'm not going to name him because I'd like to not be sued. This guy once said to our class how much he hated his clients, and that's why he got out of private practice. And I basically wanted to hand him a thank you card saying, thank you for removing yourself from my profession. I'm sorry you're teaching. Seriously. So you watch how people talk. I love my clients. I do. Do I have difficult clients? Sometimes I do. But that doesn't mean I don't love them. So you watch how people talk. If they're constantly putting people down, belittling them, not treating wait staff well, treating people who can do absolutely nothing for them like they're shit, well, then they've just outed themselves as a narcissist, because you'd never treat anybody like that. Here's the deal, guys. Of course, this little Buddhist in me coming out. We are all one. We are all part of Stardust. Stardust is us. Us are Stardust. We're all the same. We're all one. We all have value. We do. Even the worst person has got something about them that's good. Not everyone is 100% black. Not everyone is 100% good. I'm not 100% good. Dear God. So yeah, you acknowledge that there is both. Caveat, however, there are people like the Chark triads that are malignant and dangerous, and you want to stay the fuck away from them. You can acknowledge that there is that, child of the universe in them. That's great. I got it. I see it. And I choose to love them from a very, very, very far, far away, because I don't want that shit in my life. And that's perfectly okay, because I'm not going to indulge in, again, say it with me, idiot compassion. So anyway, there that is. Okay. Hope that answered that question. Can you cover decompensated narcissists and smearing? Okay, the more the narcissist is unable to win, the more the narcissist is unable to get their way, the more dangerous they are, because they are desperate and they will do whatever they think they need to in order to win. It's all about the win for them. They can't get it that it's not about winning or losing. So they will do whatever. They will say whatever. They will lie. They will cheat. They will steal. They will make excuses. They'll justify. They'll rationalize. It sounds like an addict, doesn't it? Huh. Funny. So it's the same thing. It's just like when an addict is in the throes of withdrawal, they will do whatever they need to get their way. So a decompensated narcissist is a dangerous and cornered animal, is what that is. But that does not mean that you give in to their temper tantrums or their intimidation or whatever. You stand your fucking ground and you do not allow that bullshit, and you get an injunction and you file with the police every single time they violate it. You don't put up with that shit. You don't have to. So they will say the most horrible things. They will smear their children. They will smear the spouse's children. And they'll get the target of abuse to smear the kids for them. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about. Okay. So why the smear? Why the smear? Why the smear? Why do they smear? What does it mean? Okay. And I'm sorry I'm getting into this an hour and 15 into that. Sorry. I've had so much to cover. So why the smear? Why do they do it? What's the payoff? So the payoff is that they get their story out there first. That's why they do it. And what they do is they get their story out there to paint you as the bad guy so that people will have preconceived ideas of who you really are. So that when your stories of their abuse comes out, you look like the crazy one. That's what they're thinking in their head. Now, here's the reality. Again, this is a long-term thing. So over time, it's going to become clear that they are the ones that are lying and you're the ones that's telling the truth. But here's the thing. You never defend yourself. I know. What, Chris, are you saying? I don't defend myself. What do you mean? What you do is you just keep being you, because actions speak louder than words. And I'm going to keep saying that until y'all believe me. Actions speak louder than words. They do the smear campaign for the short-term goals. So here's the beautiful thing about abusers. They're pretty much stupid. They cannot see the big picture. They cannot see the end game. They can't. And the target of abuse can. So the end game is going to show them for the abuser that they are. Because they can't keep the mask up. They can't keep the masquerade up. They can't keep doing the whole, I'm not the problem. I'm not the problem. Everybody else is. Everybody else is. Your brother is. Your sister is. Your father is. Your mother is. Your child is. Your da-da-da-da-da. The dog is. Da-da-da-da. They can't keep it up because eventually everybody's going to be pushed out of their life. But what they will do is they will then drag up the people that they have pushed out of the abusee's life and continue to blame them. So here's a clue. If somebody has been out of your life and you've been isolated and you're really not talking to your family or friends without having your abuser read over your shoulder or tell you what to say, and these people have been out of your life for, months, years, and your abuser is still blaming them for your guys' relationship or your problems, hello. That should say something to you. That should say that you're in an abusive relationship. So, okay, there is that. So the short-term goal of the abuser, why they smear, is because they need to look like they're the good guy. They do. And the long-term play of this is that eventually it will be crystal clear that they are the abuser, because that's just the way it always works out. And you just keep being you. You just keep doing you. You just keep being honorable and filled with integrity and speaking your truth. And you don't try to defend yourself. So this is what happens to us when we get out of an abusive relationship, is we have this really bad habit of trying to defend ourselves because we've been trying to defend ourselves throughout the entire abusive relationship. First of all, the abuser doesn't care. Second of all, it's going to make you look crazy. So when somebody asks me something, well, so-and-so said something and blah, 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 blah about you. Okay, do you believe it? Well, no. Okay. I'm not discussing it because it's not worth discussing, period. You know who I am. And hopefully my actions will show you who I am, period. So again, this is going to take bravery on your part. It's going to take you not defending yourself, because it's not going to work. Because the more you try to do it, well, but I didn't do that and I'm innocent and da-da-da-da-da. Well, yes, of course you are. I know you are. But what that looks like to the outside world is that you're guilty. And that's why the abusers do it, because they want to make you look crazy. That's their end game. They want you to look like the bad guy. So again, it's the long-term thing, because eventually they will be shown for who they really are, because eventually it's got to get through to somebody's head. Wow, isn't that funny? You said they were the problem, and then 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 they were the problem. There's nobody left. So who's the problem? And the abuser needs a villain. The abuser abso-fucking-lutely needs a villain. They need somebody that they can blame, and they will manufacture one. If there's not one available, they'll drag one up from the past that hasn't been in their lives for years, and they'll bring them forward, and suddenly they're the villain. They're the reason everything's bad. They're the reason that's the problem, blah, 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 blah. They will blame children. They will blame spouses. They will blame parents. They will blame friends. They will blame whoever they need to in order to keep that third party. So this is, again, a part of triangulation. They need a third party involved in the relationship in order for the attention to be taken off of them. Because once everybody is gone, the target of abuse is eventually going to have to sit there and go, huh, wait a minute, everybody's out of our lives, it's just us. So why is there still a problem? And that means it's the abuser. And that's when the target of abuse starts figuring it out, hopefully. So, you know, that when everybody is gone, the abuser has nobody else to deflect. And that's what they're all about. They're about deflection. So they're going to bring up people from the past. They're going to try to involve other family members or other friends or whatever. So you got to start taking a look at, like, who are they Xing out of your life? Who are the people they've X'd out of your life? Who are they making sure you can't talk to? Who are they making sure that they're reading everything you're doing, or that you have to go back and report to them? Who's left? If it's only the abuser, hello, that's the problem. So, okay. I moved to a different continent. Oh God. Yeah, sometimes it takes that. Or a different state or a different city or whatever. It depends on how small it is. If you're in a small town and your abuser is a bigwig in a small town, my recommendation, get the hell out. Move. Go somewhere else. Go somewhere else. Seriously. It's when I lived in Gridley, God, California, teeny tiny little town, about 5,000 people at the time when I was living there. I think it's up to 12,000 now. When I lived there, my dad was the city attorney. And it was terrible coming home for breaks or whatever, because I'd walk into the drugstore and somebody would look at me and go, because I look just like my dad, and they would look at me and go, oh my God, you're Bob Millington's daughter, aren't you? And I'm like, yes, why? And that's how I got the title of my first book, What's Wrong with Your Dad? Because this woman literally was like, what's wrong with your dad? And I'm like, shit, you got about 4 hours? So yeah, small towns are hell on people that are in a toxic relationship, whether it's a parental relationship or whether it's a romantic relationship. And if you can, move. And I did. I got the fuck out and went to LA. So, which I really loved, but I'm really glad I'm not living there now. Okay. I like visiting there though. Okay, flying monkeys really don't get it. I went no contact with all of them. Good. They still hoover. Yes, they do, because they're doing it at the behest of the narcissist. What I've read is that flying monkeys can be, not always, but can be minor narcissists because they're trying to appease the narcissist. But I'm not sure I believe that. That was on Flying Monkeys Denied. .com. So there was an article on that. I thought it was really interesting. I'm not sure I totally agree with that, but it was an interesting thing. They still pester. They really don't understand when we set that boundary and try to love bomb you back. Yeah. So you're going to have to be a broken record or a broken MP3 player. Really going to have to change my terminology here. Anyway, so you're going to have to just keep repeating. Nope. And I mean it. Nope. And I mean it. Nope. Not discussing it. Thank you for asking. I'm not answering that. You know, whatever. I'm not playing this game. I'm not getting back involved with them. And please stop, or I will stop contact with you. Yeah, absolutely. They really don't get it. Will you discuss exploitation and discard? So, okay. I just got out of a short-term marriage with a narcissist who used me for the down payment to purchase a house and then wanted to divorce 3 months later. Again, that is like somebody who comes into this country and falls in love with somebody to get a green card. It's the same thing. It's all about their wants, their needs, their desires. Me, I, more, my sexual organs, basically. So yeah, narcissists will exploit you for whatever they can. Oh, there's a fly in here. Bad fly, no biscuit. They'll exploit you for whatever they can. They will use you for whatever they can. And then they start the discard. And the discard, remember, this is part of the smear campaign. So the discard and the devaluation and the leveling starts way sooner than you think it does. When they start getting rid of family and friends, that's when it started. Eventually, when you can no longer serve their purpose, like when you run out of money or when you don't make them look good or whatever, and you've outlived your usefulness to them, then they will start the leveling. Well, you're not as smart as you think you are. You're not this, you're not that, you're not a professional, you're blah, 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 whatever. And the devaluing, well, you're shit, you're this, you're that, putting down, humiliating in public, etc. And then the discard. And the discard is, I'm done with you. Fuck you. I'm done with you. You can't serve me anymore. Goodbye. Now, that is different from walking away from a toxic relationship where the person is being used by the abuser to abuse by proxy. So when somebody is abusing you by proxy and the target of abuse doesn't get it, you have no options. They've left you no options. In order to stay sane, you must walk away from it. And then you have to just wait for them to figure it out, that when everybody else is pushed out of their life and they're still saying that everybody else is the problem, that they're with an abuser. So there is that. Okay. Yes, they do that. And most narcissists that I have seen are very much money motivated. It's all about the Benjamins. It's all about, what can you do for me? And if you try to spend on yourself, they'll make you feel guilty and they'll try to keep you from doing that. I have seen that as well. Okay. My mother-in-law is taking me to court for grandparents' rights. Oh, dear God. I have a restraining order on her because she attacked me when I was pregnant. I can't even believe they are allowing this to go to court. Her son now supports me, and we haven't let her see our children since the attack, which they witnessed. I've been in counseling also since the attack, which has helped me. Finding you on YouTube was a blessing. Okay. So, I don't know what state you're in. In the state of Arizona. And I can only speak for the state of Arizona, and I am not an attorney and I don't play one on TV, but here's what I know. They can sue for grandparent rights if you've been divorced for more than 3 months or if you have been a single parent for more than 3 months. I think that is the stupidest thing ever on the face of the planet. So I hope to God you've got a good attorney and that you've got the evidence that she has attacked you and has continued, and you need people to do character witness stuff on your behalf and to show that she is unstable. So yeah, they can do this, and grandparents absolutely do this all the goddamn time. So they will sue for grandparent rights. And like I said, there's only specific ways that they can do it. If you've been divorced for 3 months or you've been single for 3 months in Arizona, that's how they can start filing for grandparent rights. If you're married to the person, I actually had one. In fact, let me just do a shameless plug here. So this is my book. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him cha-cha, which is a conglomeration of case studies of why some people stay in abuse and others don't. So if you've got family and friends that do not understand abuse, this is a great book to help them understand it. I've got all of the terminology. I've got all of the definitions. I talk about case studies. It's conglomerations of case studies. And one of the conglomerations in here, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him do the cha-cha, available on Amazon. So thank you for that shameless plug. So one of the case studies is that it was a grandparent that the couple was together. They just weren't married, but she was suing for grandparent visitation rights. And so finally what they did is they just got married to make her go away, because she was so crazy that she was just not going to stop. And unfortunately, the judge at the time didn't get it, and we had to finally get another judge that did get it. But they wanted to get married anyway. But the point being is that yes, you will have grandparents do this kind of crazy shit, and it's really scary. Document the shit out of everything. Keep records. Document. As soon as a phone call comes in, you write it down or you save it. You do whatever you need to. You document. Call every time that the violation happens on the restraining order. Get a good attorney. Make sure it's somebody who understands narcissistic personality disorder. So for me here in Arizona, there's several attorneys I work with, and I vet them because I'm like, do you understand personality? And they will send me their high conflict divorce cases, the ones that, are being abused by the narcissist. So, and I send them the ones that I know are going to need a good attorney. So get with a good attorney who understands narcissistic personality disorder. So, and document everything. Okay, thank you about the so-and-so mention. And that's more common, Tricia, than you would believe. So when they do so-and-so said such and such about you, the triangulation of communication, that is a common tactic with narcissistic abusers, and you call them on it every time. Okay, so let's get them on the phone. Let's talk about this. Okay, after calling the police to escape a domestic abuse issue, think how Homer treats Bart. Mine constantly contacted all my siblings before the police arrived. and I have since been disowned, and my name is Muck, all because I called the police and would not cover up what happened. I am surprised at how quick it happened. Is this normal? Well, it's normal for an abuser. Yeah, and if your family is backing them and not you, there's Houston, you got a problem. So again, we've been groomed, and this goes back to our family of origin. So you may want to get with a really good therapist to start working on finding your tribe, finding people who will support you. Get with a support group, get with a good therapist, get with somebody who's going to help you find your tribe that believes you. It's sometimes I feel like Ghostbusters, like, you know, somebody comes in and they sit down, they're like, I'm going to tell you my story, but you're not going to believe me. And I'm like, I'm ready to believe you. Trust me on that one. I've seen it. I've heard it. I've lived it. I believe you. So, and that's the most important thing, is because targets of abuse are often not believed because people hear these stories and they're like, no, that couldn't be. Somebody couldn't act like that. That's outrageous. Goddamn straight, it's outrageous. And yeah, it is. And it does happen. So it's really important to get with people who believe you. Super important. Okay. Annika saying hello from Sweden. Hello, Annika. Is there a way to set things right with the flying monkeys? No. Again, the only way that you can set things right with a flying monkey is if they are willing to, you know, look at your actions and not the abuser's words. And they'll have to come to that conclusion on their own. If it's somebody you're close to or somebody you want to maintain a relationship with, ask them to go to therapy with you. If they're willing to go to therapy with you, great. You guys can work it out in therapy. You'll have a disinterested third party that's unbiased, and you can talk things through there, and hopefully they'll be able to, you know, work things through. If they're not interested, well, then, you know, have a nice life. You know, they're not worth it. Does that make sense? If somebody cares, they'll go to therapy with you. If somebody really wants to continue that relationship, they'll work on themselves and they'll work on the relationship. If they don't, they won't. And if they don't and won't, then you say goodbye, because life is too short. So, okay. Okay, great topic. Rick! Oh my God, hi, Bunny. Rick, I just referred a whole bunch of people to you, so you're probably going to be getting, you know, phone calls and stuff, so be prepared. So, hi, Rick, I love you. You're awesome. Okay, Rick is the one I was talking about that's the life coach out of Iowa, so give him a call. Trish, okay, what if they are smearing you to your child? Okay, this drives me crazy. So this goes back to parental alienation. So grandparents that are narcissists, parents that are narcissists, when they are involved in a divorce case, they will oftentimes try to use the child as a pawn. It is going to backfire eventually. Eventually. Again, long game here, guys. We're not talking short game. In the short term, yes, the child may believe them. Again, because they have to go spend, I think it's 5-2-2-5 is how they break it up in Arizona. So 5 days with mom, 2 with mom, 2 with dad, 5 with mom or dad or whatever. So it's 5-2-2-5. You spend 5 days, 2 days, 2 days, 5 days. So the child is having to spend time with the abuser. And so it's dangerous for them to confront the abuser on the smear. The child can't defend themselves. And the sucky thing of it is that the child is half you and half the other partner. You never, ever, ever, ever want to put your partner down, your child's father or mother down in front of them, because that child is half them. And they're going to make it mean something about them. So please don't ever do that. Never, ever use your children as pawns. And the ones who do, I swear to God, slap therapy for everyone. I want to slap the living shit out of them because it hurts the child. And of course, narcissists and dark triads don't give a fuck about that. They just want to win. Again, it's about the win. And what they don't understand is in the short term, they may win by the child believing them. But in the long term, as the child grows and develops and gets cognitive functioning and looks at behaviors versus words, they're going to go, oh shit, well, mom did all of this good stuff for me, but dad is saying all these horrible things. Or mom is saying all these horrible things, but dad did all these good stuff for me. Something's not right. So eventually they'll figure it out. But it's painful for the parent in the meantime because, you know, the child is going to act out and, you know, take things out on the parent that's good because they're safe. It's the safe target. So when they're with the narcissist and they come home, they're going to act out. Absolutely. And then it's going to take a couple of days to get them back into being healthy and normal. And then, of course, they have to go back to the other parent. So it sucks. It's parental alienation. It is terribly damaging to the children. Do not allow it. And always talk to your kids. Always make sure to be like, I never say anything bad about your dad or your mom. because they're part of you and you're awesome. You know, unconditional love. That's what you want for your kids. Okay. For me, I saw them slip up like crazy. Yeah, they do. They inevitably give themselves away. They'll tell you exactly how they're going to smear you. Or their behavior becomes so outrageous that it's like eventually even blind people can see what they're doing. I mean, it's really that's kind of good. Okay, what about when they just pretend nothing at all has happened? Is that a form of the Hoover? Yes, that's called abuse amnesia. Okay, so there's two forms of abuse amnesia. One is what the narcissist does to the target of abuse. I'm starting to lose my voice, guys, so I'm not sure how long I can keep going. So one is what the narcissist does to the target of abuse. So what they do is they abuse or they say something horrible, and then they go, I never said that. That never happened. What are you talking about? That never happened. That's gaslighting. So that's abuse amnesia. So they're totally forgetting what they did to you. Absolutely. And they believe it. They believe it. The other form of abuse amnesia is the target of abuse's brain has got Stockholm syndrome. Their survival, remember, little 5-year-old inside, that inner child, is dependent upon the abuser because we're acting out our childhood traumas. So if we had a parent that was absentee, not around, in jail, killed themselves, whatever, our little 5-year-old is going, oh my God, but this abuser is so much like my mom or dad. And oh my God, I need them. And oh my God, I have to say and do whatever. And no, they didn't treat me that bad. It wasn't that bad. If you ask children who've been in horrifically abusive situations, they will say that the abuse wasn't that bad, at least initially, until they've gotten therapy and they've gotten through that Stockholm syndrome. They will say that the abuse was not bad. No, it wasn't that bad. They'll minimalizing, making it smaller than it really was. Because our little 5-year-old feels that our survival depends on our abuser, because that's what happened when we were originally abused or originally insecure attachment. So abuse amnesia is we excuse or we forget the abuse that our abuser put us through, which is why when you come out of an abusive relationship, it is A, so important to get with a good therapist, and B, write down every rotten thing that person did to you, because otherwise your little brain is going to go, oh, it wasn't that bad. It's okay. I can go back to them. It'll be better this time. Because it's the 5-year-old running the show. You don't hand the keys to the car to the 5-year-old. You don't. I love them, but no, you don't do it unless you're on Autotopia in Disneyland and it's safe and it's on a track. And even then you don't do it with a narcissist. Do you see where I'm going with that? You don't hand the keys to a 5-year-old to drive the car. You don't. So it's abuse amnesia comes from either the abuser gaslighting and saying that no, the abuse wasn't as bad as it was. No, you don't remember it right, blah, 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 blah. That's abuse amnesia. Or you have the abusee going, oh, it was okay. It wasn't bad. It was all right. It was, minimalizing. So that's abuse amnesia. So, okay, I hope that answered that question. And yeah, it is absolutely a form of a Hoover. Well, that never happened. What are you talking about? I don't know. There's nothing wrong. We're great. Really? Okay. Mine stalked me carrying a gun and harassed me for 7 years after the divorce until the day he died. Yeah, that can happen. He did his level best to destroy me. Yeah, that absolutely can happen. It's called obsessive X syndrome. Abso-fucking-lutely. And that's when you learn self-defense, and that's when you go learn how to shoot a gun. Like I said, I conceal carry. I know how to defend myself. I've also taken Kung Fu, and I love it. And I can drop a 350 pound man that's 6'5". So I was pretty proud of that. So yeah, you learn how to defend yourself. You take your power back. You never, ever let these fuckers make you live in fear. Ever. Because that's what they want. They want you to be afraid. Don't be afraid. Okay. Thanks for all your talks you've put online. I've made progress directly because of it. It helps give me confidence that I see what I see and saw what I saw. Huzzah. It also helps me to look inside in healthier ways. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, sweetie, you're so welcome. Thank you. I'm thinking the cold is on the tail end here, so hopefully it'll be much better by next week. What if your ex is smearing you to your child? Okay, I answered that one. Get professionals involved when they slander you to your kids. Yes! In your divorce decree, you can put in there that the kids are going to have therapy. You absolutely can. And that you have final say in medical things. You can do that as well. Because what abusers will do is they will try to pick the therapist. And what they will do is they will either pick a green therapist straight out of school, which, okay, nothing wrong with that. We all got to start somewhere. But if you're dealing with a narcissist, you need someone seasoned. You need someone who gets it. You need someone who's dealt with these manipulative sons of bitches or daughters of bitches. And you need somebody who knows a manipulation when they see it. And somebody who can go, motherfucker, we're not playing this game. Okay? Because if you get with a green therapist, they're going to be so worried about rapport because that's what they push when you're going through school. And two, in the colleges, they don't fucking teach us about personality disorders because it's a fucking political bullshit thing. Oh, we don't want to hurt their little feelings. Oh, fuck that shit. How about the kids? How about we think about what's good for the kids? How about we think about what they're doing to their target of abuse? Motherfuckers. Don't get me started. Ooh, God, that just, I get so angry. So yeah, it makes me mad because it's a disservice to the children. It's a disservice to the kids. It's a disservice to the spouse or whoever is being abused. And it gives a free pass to these fuckers. So no, you find somebody who's seasoned, who understands personality disorders, who gets the whole high conflict divorce bullshit, who understands these kids are probably being turned against you by the abuser. So sorry about that. I had a small moment there. Maybe an aneurysm, I'm not sure. So yeah, it does. It just makes me so angry because they don't train people and they need to be trained, and it's rampant. It is rampant. I cannot tell you the number of cases where I've seen the narcissist try to harm the spouse by using the kids as pawn. They will send them to the opposing parent with no shoes in the dead of winter. They will send them wearing clothes that are 3 times too small, forcing that parent to spend what little money they are getting, if they are getting any money, on buying new clothes. And eventually they end up buying it from the Salvation Army or Goodwill. And then the other parent will go, see, your parent doesn't love you enough to buy you new clothes. Fuck the fuck out of fucking fuck you, asshole. Jesus Christ. I mean, do you see what I'm saying? They're just despicable. They are low-life, despicable assholes. And I fucking have no respect for people that do that to their kids. And there you have my opinion on that. Okay, sorry about that. Yes, you want to get with a therapist that knows what they're doing, and you want to make sure that they don't pick the therapist, that you do, and that you do the investigation. Do you understand personality disorders? Are you well-versed in DBT? Do you understand high conflict divorces? Do you get fucking malignant narcissists? Do you get it? Do you get using kids as a pawn? Do you understand parental alienation? It is a thing. It is real. It is happening every fucking day in this country, probably around the globe. And it's horrible for the children. It is fucking their world up. Stop it. Yeah, that's what you want to do. You want to interview the living shit out of them. Absolutely. You get somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing. Okay. Hope that answered your question. Okay. Yeah, I'm a little passionate about that. Yeah, you want to get a professional. Mine alienated all 3 of my kids from me, and they are now alienating my grandkids from me. Yeah, that can happen. Absolutely. But again, long-term game. Eventually, actions will win out. So that's my thing on that. Is it true that bipolar can be mistaken for narcissism? Yes, it is. Absolutely. And in fact, next week, I will be talking about the differences between CPTSD, borderline personality disorder, bipolar, and narcissism and antisocial, because all of those can be confused for each one. If that makes any sort of sense, as if you weren't confused enough. They can all be misdiagnosed. So next week, I'm going to be talking more about bipolar, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, borderline personality disorder, antisocial personality disorder, and narcissistic personality disorder, because those can all be misdiagnosed. So I want to talk about that. So that's going to be the topic next week. Okay, thank you for asking me that. Okay, not only did I hear how much he hated, I only heard from others complaints about him. Yeah. So watch how they talk about other people. If they're always negative, they're always nasty, everything's always wrong, Houston, you got a problem. Okay. Sometimes the smear campaign leaves you feeling as if you've been thrown out of the Garden of Eden. Yeah, it can. But then who the heck wants to be in a garden with a God that damned, with that goddamn deceitful snake in it? I like the analogy. Yeah, it's true. It does feel like that. So, and especially when you consider the love bombing phase. So when the narcissist first starts with us, it's all, you know, oh, I'm your soulmate, and oh, I'm near you, and I'm everything you ever wanted, and blah, 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 blah. But then towards the end, they start harming you. They start putting you down. They start humiliating you. Everything you do is wrong. You can't do anything right. You know, everything you've done is nefarious. Everything you've done is bad. Everything you've done is for, you know, whatever reasons, you know, they start twisting everything. And honest to God, who needs that? Seriously. Or worse, they abuse by proxy and they get the target of abuse to say those things to you. Ow. because this person used to be your best friend, or it used to be a coworker, or it used to be somebody you loved and respected. And suddenly they are acting just like the abuser. Ow, you bet. You bet. It's painful. Oh my goodness, so true. And I want to vomit. I'm so sorry. Yeah, it is true. And it is kind of upsetting, you bet. Great topic. I'm glad it is. Be you, love yourself. That's the action. Yes, absolutely. So this is, you want to defeat the narcissist, you be you. You go you. You be the best goddamn fucking you can be. You love yourself to the fucking core, no matter what anybody says, no matter what they think of you. It's you that matters. It's what you tell yourself that matters. It's what the internal dialogue is that matters, because that kind of dictates how you think and feel. So you've got to be careful of your internal dialogue. Is it healthy? Is it happy? Is it a cheerleader? Is it go you, I love you, you're fabulous, good job, keep going? Or is it, oh my God, I'm not good enough. Oh my God, you're a terrible person. Oh my God, blah, 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 blah. If it's the second one, thank you for your input. Shut the fuck up. Why? Because I fucking say so, asshole. And then you replace it with a positive every time. You do not allow this thing to continue yammering at you, because it is probably the voice of your abuser in your head. Get rid of it, excise it. Be gone. Tell it to go away. So yeah, absolutely. And then you replace it with a positive, and you just keep doing that. And is it going to take time? You bet your sweet bippy. I think I talked about this before. The first time I heard my internal dialogue super clear, I was about 18 years old. I'd left the house when I was 17. I was 18 years old. I was walking down the street in Chico, California. It was rainy. I slipped and I fell, and I fell down to the ground. And immediately this thing popped up. You're so stupid. How could you do that? You made me look bad. Blah, 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 blah. Whoa. What the, who the fuck are you? It was my dad's voice. It was my dad's voice. And from that moment on, I was able, once it came into the forefront and I could hear it, I was able to make it go away, because I told it to shut the fuck up and then replaced it with a positive. And of course, at the time I had a therapist. So I was working on myself. And then later on in my life, I got another therapist, and then 7 years on a couch talking about mom and dad. And then later on in my life, I got another therapist and worked on myself. So it's an ongoing process. It's like layers of an onion. You just keep peeling, you just keep peeling, you just keep peeling, and you keep getting better. That's the thing. Are you moving forward, or are you moving backwards, is what Lauren would say, Lauren Archibek. You know, there's no stuck. There's either moving forward or moving backwards. You want to be moving forward. If you're moving backwards, you're stuck. And if you're feeling stuck, you're moving backwards. So move forwards. Keep working on you. Keep working on you. Keep working on that internal dialogue. Again, call Rick Points. He's the guy. He's a life coach. He gets it. He totally gets it. Okay. In my case, the smear campaign behind my back started early in the relationship when things were still good. How common is this? It's common. Oh yeah, it's common. So here's the thing. Narcissists are all different, just like all people are different. It's like, you know, everyone's got a different way of doing things. And some narcissists start the smear campaign immediately, and others wait until you've outlived their purposefulness. Did I say that right? Until you've outlived their purpose, if that makes any sort of sense. So it depends. It can happen early on in the game. Sometimes the smear campaign happens like as soon as they get their hooks into you and they start the devalue and the discard and the smear. Because remember, they're addicts. They're total addicts. They get off on the pain and suffering. And if they can get their little thing from you by hurting you, they will. So it just depends on what, you know, are they sadistic? You know, I'm really sad they took that particular disorder out of the DSM-5 because, well, actually they took it out of the DSM-4. I think it was in the DSM-3. Anyway, the point being is sadism used to be its own little thing. And then they said, oh no, this is, you know, a sexual choice, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, part of it is, yeah, if it's consensual, whatever. But narcissists are sadists. They fucking enjoy inflicting pain. It is their crack cocaine. That's what they get off on. It's their narcissistic supply. So yeah, they will absolutely do whatever they can to get that narcissistic supply, and they'll start discarding whenever they feel it will serve their purpose. So there is that. Oh yes. So the victim, the poor me. So once you don't play their game anymore, they start playing the victim. Absolutely. They're the ones that are harmed. They're the ones that are hurt. They're the ones that are being treated so poorly by everyone. And they will do this attempting to get the sympathy of the target of abuse. And yet, again, let's see what they have done. What was their part in this? People don't just push people out of their lives for no reason. You push people out of your life because they're toxic, if you're healthy. If you're unhealthy, you're pushing people out of somebody's life because you're trying to control them. So, yeah, they play the victim. Poor me, nobody understands me, nobody likes me, wah, 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 where's the ambulance? Yeah, and they do this to play on the sympathies of the target of abuse, because the target of abuse is an empath and wants to make it all better for them. So, yeah, and again, that plays into their whole you game. It's everybody else's fault. But they never once take responsibility for why doesn't anybody want to talk to them? Well, maybe it's because they're a reprehensible piece of shit. It's a thing. So, okay, there it is. Yes, they play the victim. And again, you keep being you keep doing you keep going on your path, and the truth will win out. It always does. It always does. Okay. Okay. Yeah, abusers, covert ones, covert narcissists. Okay, overt and covert. Let's talk about the difference in these guys, how they do their smear campaign. Oh, geez, this is going to be another 2-hour show. Geez Louise, guys, I'm so sorry. Okay, lots of good questions, though. All right, so the covert ones are much more dangerous than the overt ones. The overt ones, let's face it, they're pretty much stupid because they telegraph what they're going to do. I am going to ruin you. Okay, I am going to blah, blah, blah you. I am going to say this, that, and the other thing. I am going to blah, 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 blah. Because they're so fucking arrogant, they think that, they can say whatever and then pretend it wasn't said. What? Somebody asked me a good question. They're like, well, what's the difference between arrogance and certainty? Certainty is when you have the knowledge, the experience, and the education to back it up. Narcissists never do. They will claim to be the expert in so many things, but do they have a degree? No. Do they have the experience? No. Do you see where I'm going with that? So that's the difference between certainty and arrogance. Arrogance is always because they think they know the answer. They think they know everything. They don't. They don't have the experience. They don't have the degree. They don't have the knowledge. They don't have it. They don't have it, but they think they do. And that's arrogance. That's absolutely. Why do you think I am always, and I forgot to pull all of these up. Geez, see, I got so involved in it. Why do you think I'm always posting these? There we go. Why do you think I'm always posting these things? I'm not just talking out of my ass, guys. I'm not. I post these studies so I can show you I'm pulling this from real stuff. It's not just me going blah, 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 blah. No, it's also from personal experience, and it's also because I've been in the field for fucking 13 years now. Hello, and I have my master's degree, and I like to pull studies because I'm one of those crazy people that reads these things for fun, because apparently I need to get a life. Okay, so Anatomy of a Smear Campaign, installment number 2. This is more talking about political stuff, so how smear campaigns work. But this goes along with why the narcissist does it on a personal level. They do it in order to influence opinions, just like in a political campaign. This, to them, is a political campaign. It's all about spy versus spy. They're trying to influence as many people as they can to believe that you're the bad guy and they're the innocent victim. 4 behaviors that unmask the narcissist. This is the one I really liked. Didn't even get to it yet. So the 4 behaviors that unmask, okay, let me show this. Hello. 4 behaviors. One of these days, I'm going to figure out which way this camera is. 4 behaviors that unmask the narcissist. Okay, so what I love about this is that it talks about how their mask starts slipping. So they play emotional hot potato. They never, ever take responsibility for their own shit. It's always somebody else's fault. They're blaming you. They're blaming the dog. They're blaming their boss. They're blaming society. They're blaming, somebody you haven't spoken to in 10 months. They're blaming somebody. Always somebody. They never, ever accept personal responsibility. They never go, what was my part in this? How did I create this? What did I do? Did I do something? I don't know. They never question. Did I mention that crazy people never question their own sanity? It's always the sanest people on the face of the planet that go, holy shit, am I nuts? Seriously, narcissists never question themselves. They are never wrong. Never, never. They have never made a mistake in their lives. Okay, withdraws, stonewalls, and then attacks if a demand is made. How many times does that happen? That's the sign of a narcissist. That's their mask slipping. So if they're attacking you, if they're raging at you at night, if they're screaming at you, if they're keeping you up, if they're demanding that you get rid of family and friends, if they're demanding that they read your every interaction with your family and friends, that they have to read your instant messages, if you have to run things through by them, yeah, That's a narcissist. Hello. Withdraws and then attacks when demands are made. Vindictive to the max. Oh, they cannot let you go. They cannot. And they will live in vindication for the rest of their lives. And okay, that's their punishment, because I can not think of a much more miserable way to live. So let it go, people, dear God. So yeah, vindictive, somebody who's vindictive, somebody who wants revenge, somebody who's talking about suing somebody all the time, or somebody who's talking about calling police or calling the board or calling whatever. That's vindictive. That's a narcissist, because the rest of us, ain't nobody got time for that shit. I'm sorry, I got a life to live. I'm going to go do fun things. I'm going to go ice skate. I'm going to go hang out with my husband. I'm going to go play with my friends. I'm going to, have a life. Hello. I don't have time for vindictiveness. So that's the sign of a narcissist. Okay. Indifferent to emotions. So they are indifferent to emotional outcomes. They don't care. They will say the most horrible things to you. They will watch you crumble in front of them, and they won't give a flying fuck. They don't care. They don't care that you've just been devastated. They don't care, because they can't, because they're missing a cog. Doesn't excuse it, but it certainly explains it. They have no empathy. They cannot put themselves in somebody else's shoes. Okay, so that is the sign of a narcissist. And as they start slipping more and more and more, that becomes more and more obvious. Okay, the next one was the Narcissistic X, part 4. So apparently there was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I only had time to print up this one. So the Narcissistic X, part 4. So it also describes the vindictiveness and the obsessiveness, obsessive X, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This one talks about the narcissistic love script that they have. So they follow a pattern. It is like clockwork, guys. It is so obvious. And I'm going to get back to the difference between overt and covert, because I just realized I went off track on that, but I'll get back to it. Hang on. So in the narcissistic love script, another really good one, the courtship is love bombing, love bombing, love bombing. I'm your mate. I'm your this. I'm your that. Oh, yeah, you like hot dogs? I love hot dogs. You like hockey? I love hockey. You like whatever? Suddenly they like it. Okay, now, in a healthy, normal relationship, you'll go try it out. Now, my husband was totally into hockey when he and I got together. And so I started watching hockey with him. I actually ended up liking it. It was kind of dubious at first, because I'm like, hockey, isn't that with people with no teeth that go around beating the living crap out of each other? And, fights break out and stuff like. He took me to one game. Oh my God. So a fight, we were right on the ice, and it was like center, and they got into a fight, and I'm not kidding you. It was like that fight or flight thing hit me, because they got into a fight right in front of us, and the guy was just wailing on him, and neither one of them had teeth, and it was just blood everywhere. And I was like, I need to run away. But anyway, most hockey games are fine, because we're usually up in the nosebleed section and I don't have to see that stuff. But the point I'm trying to make is that suddenly whatever you're interested in, that will then become their obsession. And I mean obsession. Like if you're into pottery, suddenly they want to be a master potter. So if you're into, let's say, poetry, oh my God, they're going to take a whole bunch of poetry classes. So let's say you're into, I don't know, some other hobby or something that you're doing. They then become the expert in it, because they have to be the expert in everything, and they have to take over whatever you're doing. So the love bombing phase, they pretend to be you. They make you fall in love with yourself, essentially. It's like it's a mirror image of you. So you fall in love with the beautiful aspects of you. That's really what that is. You're seeing who you are, because they're mirroring who you are, and you've fallen in love with you. And then when they go away, that's why it's so devastating. And that's why our self-esteem gets absolutely crushed, because it's like us leaving us. Weird, I know. Hang with me on that. We're going to talk more about that in a later episode. So, okay. Okay, one-mindedness and lack of empathy. Okay, that's when it starts going. And then the devaluation and object consistency. They're not consistent. They can't be consistent. They can't stay, and they start devaluing and leveling. They are so into control that they will demand your passwords. They'll want to go through your phone. They'll want to read your instant messages. They'll demand to see what you are saying to your family and friends to make sure that you're not talking about them. They are going to get on there and pretend that they are you. I have seen that happen as well. And then try to start trouble with the family or the friends and say horrible things, pretending to be you. It happens. If you don't have control over your passwords, and if your partner is doing that, you are with an abuser, period. And then the discard. It follows the same pattern. It follows the same pattern, and then eventually the Hoover. So yeah, okay, so back to overt and covert. So Overt narcissists will be very obvious what they're doing. They follow a script. I don't care where you are in the world. I don't care what your culture is. They follow a script, and it's the same goddamn script wherever you are. Covert narcissists and overt narcissists will do the smear very aggressively. They're because they're so cocksure that they're right that they can't conceive of them being wrong, basically. What a covert narcissist will do is much more insidious. They will drip poison into the ear of the abused and convince them that everybody else except them is bad and wrong, and everything they've done for them had a nefarious purpose, and and oh, they're not your friend. You don't need them. You just need me. It's poison. It's poison. It's poison. And the smear is done very covertly, sometimes overtly, but mostly covertly, until it becomes obvious that the family and friends really see them for what they are, and then bam, it becomes totally overt. And they do the same thing when they're leaving their partner. So it'll be covert at first, dripping poison into people's ears. And then once it becomes obvious that the partner is leaving, bam, overt, totally. So yeah, anyway, there that is. Okay, totally buying my book. Thank you, I appreciate that. Which again, another shameless plug. Let me do this again. So you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him cha-cha. Available on Amazon, and it is a conglomeration of case studies as to why some people stay in abuse and others don't. So really helpful, I think, to the family and friends, because oftentimes family and friends are like, I don't get it. Why are they staying in this situation? And it goes back to the original wound. They have not worked on the original wound. They have not gotten therapy. They have not done what they needed to do. They may have had therapy in the past, but the therapy never addressed the original wound. It's got to address the original wound. That's the only way you're going to get better. Okay. Both of my kids are addicts and are now alienating me from my grandkids because I tried to protect my grandkids from being around the addicts and drug dealers. Once I heard heroin, the enabling stopped cold turkey, and they became their father. Okay. Hi, Chris. First time watching a live feed, but just wanted to jump on and say thank you for sharing your wisdom. You're welcome. You've been a huge help in my life. Also in the middle of self-esteem book you always recommend. Good. Oh, yes. The self-esteem book, workbook by Schiraldi. Fantastic fucking book. Get it, work it, do it. Also do the mirror work that I talked about earlier. Hi, I love you. I like you. Have a good day. I give you permission to, and then whatever it is you want to work on. And then at night, 3 things you did right. 3 things you did right. Hi, good to see you again. Here are 3 things you did right. Keep working on that. You got to reinforce that, reinforce that, reinforce that. Good job. Oh, I'm so happy about that. Disservice to society to not teach about personality disorders. Abso-fucking-lutely. It just fucking pisses me off. And again, you guys want to make a difference? Get a hold of the APA. Get a hold of the ACA, American Psychology Association, and then the or Psychiatric Association, and the American Counseling Association. So every 10 years or so, the DSM gets rewritten. And this last time there was a huge fight. Part of them wanted to get rid of the personality disorders. The other half is like, are you out of your fucking mind? We need these. So you need to write in. If you've been abused by a narcissist, if you've been abused by a borderline malignant, guys, remember, I'm talking about the malignant end of the spectrum, not the trait stuff. I'm talking about the malignant end. If you've been abused, let these organizations know you cannot get rid of these. And these disorders need to be taught in schools. Dog face banana patch. I've lost the ability to talk. Violence, domestic violence needs to be taught in school. We never covered that. So when I got thrown into my internship with Catholic Charities, the first time I had a DV case, I almost soiled myself because I was like, I haven't got a fucking clue what to do here. So thank God I had Anna Smith, who was my mentor in that, and she walked me through it. So you know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, talk to them. Send them emails. Tell them that we have to have personality disorders in there. It is real. And abuse survivor syndrome is absolutely fucking real. It is absolutely real. So send them letters. I'm totally passionate about that. I am going to be going to the ACA conference in Atlanta in April. So I will be speaking to whoever I can bend an ear with on that, because I think it needs to be addressed and it needs to not be swept under the rug, and we need to stop having all the fucking humanists who are like, oh, we don't want to hurt your little feeling. Well, fuck that shit. So how about the targets of abuse? How about we worry about their feelings? I don't really fucking care about the abusers. Sorry. By the time they've started abusing, they're pretty much done. They're toast. It's like karma. Ooh, it's coming to get them. So, you know, anyway, there that is. The only caveat is the targets of abuse who are in the fog, who are being used as abuse by proxy, they can still be worked with. Once they get away from the abuser, they can be worked with. So just want to make that clear. Okay. I was looking on YouTube. I'm here now. Oh, Shannon, I'm so sorry. Yes, we are on Facebook. Sorry, I did not apparently make that clear. At some point, I'm going to be able to do YouTube and Facebook live, which I'm really excited about. I'm a little nervous about it because I know there are trolls out there, so I may need to have people kind of help me get rid of the trolls as they come up, because that's been more of a problem on YouTube than it has on Facebook, thank God. So, okay. Hey, Georgina, how you doing? You said that people are malignant when they get their jollies from hurting people. How do we know if they enjoy hurting others or not? Because when they speak poorly of other people, they have a grin. It's like, I really like this. They do. They have this, and one of you guys on here, I can't remember, Trisha, I think it was you, maybe. We were talking earlier about how they seem to enjoy the bad news. They revel in bad news, and they revel in speaking poorly about other people. So it's like a hit for them. It's like they enjoy. It's like how you and I would talk about ice cream. Okay, well, I don't know if you like ice cream, but I like ice cream. So it's like, ooh, ice cream, and for them, it's like, ooh, bad stuff. Well, isn't that person just blah, 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 blah. They just get this little smear on their face, this little sneer, this little, I'm really enjoying this kind of thing. You can tell, you can totally tell. So, okay. Because honestly, when you're talking about somebody and they are not a good person, like, okay, let's talk about the shooting in Texas. Okay, this guy clearly mentally ill, hello, and access to guns. Oh my God, don't want to go there yet because I am a gun owner and I do enjoy shooting my guns. But is there a problem? You bet your sweet bippy. But when I talk about it, it's not like, oh my God, I'm going to get my little jollies off of talking about how mentally ill this guy is. No, he's mentally ill. He needs help or needed help. He's dead now. But the point being is you don't sit there and you revel in it. It's like, what a tragedy. What a horrible thing. You're not like, and they do. They get this little look on their face like it's just the most delicious thing that they're talking about and they're being mean. So, fuck them. Or not, as the case may be. Okay. Yeah, they enjoy, you can tell because they just get a sneer on their face and you can just see that they enjoy doing that. They enjoy hurting people. I'm still waiting on the truth coming out, and it may take a long goddamn time, Lori. It may take years. It may never happen. Okay. But I mean the long term, and I'm not just talking this lifetime. Okay. I know it's a good news, bad news thing, but here's the thing. You cannot live your life waiting for vindication. You can't. In some cases, you will be waiting your entire lifetime. You know what you do? You keep being you. You keep going. You keep doing the best you can possibly can. You help as many people as you possibly can. You educate as many people as you possibly can. You save as many people as you possibly can. You live your life to the fucking fullest. The best revenge is to always live well. Always. So there is that. How come they like being sub and humiliated in bed? It looks as... Well, now I think we're generalizing because that is a completely different subject. So I did a video on dominance and subs, and that it really doesn't have anything to do with a personality disorder. It has to do with a sexual preference. So, you can be one way in personal life and then enjoy something totally different in bed. So oftentimes people who are very dominant in their personal life often enjoy being submissive in bed. It has nothing to do with a personality disorder. It has to do with sexual preference. So there that is. And vice versa. So just to let you know. Okay. Yes, it's everybody else and never them. If everyone is terrible to you and you're the victim, the common denominator is you, motherfucker. I love it. Yep, absolutely. What is more worse for a narc, getting gray rock or getting laughed at? I'm so bad at gray rock and I can't help but laugh at my ex when he comes sniffing around. D, all of the above. So remember, it's all about intimidation and control and perception. So they need to be seen as fearful, to be respected and all of this crap. So yeah, laughing at them, that's a great way to deal with them. A little dangerous depending on who you're dealing with, but if it's a narc that is going to leave, then that's fine. If it's somebody who's like obsessive X that's all about power and control, be careful with that. Gray rock is great because you give them nothing. It's like, seriously, it's like, are you done yet? Oh, my sweet baby Jesus, I'm so bored. Holy shit. Whatever. Yeah, so you give them nothing. That's the best way to do it. Why do some narcs like being a sub in bed? Okay, we did that one. Let's see. Covert smear. Yeah, we talked about that. Hey, thanks. Okay. Cha-Cha book is sold out? It should be print on demand. They should be doing print on demand. So let's check that. Were you looking for the Kindle version or were you looking for the print on demand? The print on demand should just be you push on it and they sell it. So let me know if that's still an issue. John's not sitting there. I can't ask him. Okay. Personality disorders do need to be taught. So many people in families are screwed up and then it's passed through the generations. Yes, absolutely. I could try to pull together a seminar while I'm there. I would have to do it either before or after the conference because the conference is like 5 or 6 days long. So let me see what I can do. If I can pull together a seminar, I will do one in Atlanta while I'm there. Might as well. What the hell? If you guys are in Atlanta, if you could let me know if you're interested, that would be really good because then I get a kind of a good read for, everything. And I will probably charge like $20 to do it. So just to pay for the hall and whatever. So yeah, I need to thank you. I will start working on that. My sister is a covert narc. Everyone outside her inner life adores her because she is witty and love bombs them at first, but then not too long in the relationship, there's crazy drama. Yes. But always seeing people on social media sing her praises. It's difficult because I know who she truly is behind closed doors. Try not to focus on it too much. Okay, this brings up a good point. If someone in your life is toxic, either defriend them, or if they are with somebody who is toxic, defriend them because you don't want the narcissist to know what you're doing. Or you put them on the restricted list on Facebook. I don't know about other social media because that's not my bag, baby. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to stop looking at your exes because that's another thing that I see survivors of abuse doing is that they obsessively look at what their ex is doing. You don't want to do that. You don't. Stop it. Live your life. Let them go be them. They're going to say and do whatever they're going to do. Y'all don't need to be upset all the time. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Just fucking let it go. Can't do that in a Disney song, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, let it go. Stop looking at their stuff. Put them on a restricted list so that you don't have to see their shit all the time. Because remember, narcissists will put up there whatever image they want to portray to their fawning public, their fawning flying monkeys, okay? They'll never be real. They'll never say, oh, yeah, having a day. They'll never do stuff like that unless they're looking for sympathy, unless they're looking to play the victim. So get off of social media. Put them in a restricted section. Don't have anything to do with them. Defriend if you have to. Just don't. You don't need to. It doesn't matter what they're doing. It matters what you're doing. So it doesn't matter what other people say. Again, doesn't matter. Actions speak louder than words. Absolutely. Okay. When money is involved, a lot of people stay with the abuser. Yep, absolutely. That is very true. And again, that shows you who they are. So the people who stay with you because they have integrity will stay with you. The ones who don't, and they don't. If that makes any sort of sense. They don't have integrity. They're not going to stay with you. So there it is. Okay. It's like a sinister smugness. That's a good way to put it. So when they're talking about bad things, it's like a sinister smugness. Absolutely. That's a really good way to put it. We are no contact, so cannot look for the grin. But everything Mother said about others was mean. Yeah, likes to talk dirt about everybody. Gossip. Oh my God, gossip. So, I'm too busy for that. I don't have time. I've got people that I love and people who love me. I don't have time to badmouth people, and I don't care, and I wouldn't even if I could. You know why? Because I don't have time, and it's bad karma. So, people are who they are, and they are children of the universe, and they're either people you want to be with or not. And leave it at that. So gossiping, never a good thing. So somebody who loves to gossip, who's always talking about who so-and-so is doing or what so-and-so is up to and blah, 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 blah. And it's always negative and nasty and mean and bad. That's the clue. If it's always positive and how can we help this person, that's a little different. But if it's always negative, mean, nasty, and bad, that's not healthy. Okay. Pay attention to their micro expressions. When you share a personal success, yes, abusers and toxic people give themselves away immediately. They don't want you to succeed. They're pissed when you do well. Abso-fucking-lutely. They are absolutely not happy that you're doing well. You betcha. Because a healthy, normal person would be like, oh my God, this is awesome. Good for you. Go you. This is great. But a narcissist will be like, oh, well, that's nice. Does that convey nice at all? No, it doesn't. It conveys really creepy. And I really didn't like the way I looked when I did that. Anyway, okay. Hi, Chris from the UK. You have been a massive inspiration to me. Your videos have been so much help in the past year. I'm glad I could help. Thank you. I'm glad. And you're welcome. And getting over a relationship with a malignant borderline. Read Stop Walking on Eggshells by Randy Krieger. Get the book and the workbook. That's going to help a lot. Also, The Disease to Please and by Harriet Breaker, and the Self-Esteem Workbook by Schiraldi. Those are all really good. Good. I'm glad I could help. That's awesome. Let's see. What's gray rock? Not reacting. Yes. Gray rock is like when you watch one of those Kung Fu movies. I still love watching Kung Fu movies, the old ones, and badly dubbed. And so there was always a Zen master. There was always some Zen master who was like cool as a cucumber, no matter what came at him. It's like the bad guys would all be coming at him, and he would just be like, flick, 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 and either was smiling or just totally not concerned. Like, yep, whatever. Yep, bye-bye. Yep. So gray rock is where you give them nothing, no emotional response at all. They're looking for the upset. They're looking for the sadness. They want you to cry, or they, oh, Baba, are you okay? Okay, there you go. There you go. All right, there you go. They want you to cry, or they want you to be angry, or they want you to react in some way, shape, or form. If you take away their supply, their little, narcissistic supply, what fun is it to sit there and poke the bear if you're not responding? So they constantly poke us. They constantly poke the bear trying to get us to respond. If you give them nothing, they get bored and they'll move on. So usually, unless, caveat, they're the dark triad and they're crazy and they want to keep punishing. And that's the obsessive X syndrome. Okay. Our pastor contacted in a smear campaign. Pastor wants us to talk with family at church to verify that we are protecting our children from abuse from my mother. We don't think this is a good idea as the family is not sworn, or the FM. Wait, I'm confused. The FM? FM at church? With FM at church. What is an FM at church? Mayday, help me. Not a good idea because they're not sworn to confidentiality. I would not do it. Absolutely not. You are under no obligation. None. Zip, zero, zilch, nada. And if somebody is trying to get the family back together and there is abuse, then they are being ethically irresponsible. And you can point that out to them. Okay. Would it be possible for you to do a show on gray rock? I have done one on gray rock. I can do another one. Probably not until the beginning of next year, because I've kind of got this year already planned out. Let's see. This still live? Yes, it is still live. Okay. My mother says she walks on eggshells around me because I'm too sensitive. So one of the most common things that abusers do is they tell the empath or the target of abuse that they're too sensitive. There is no such thing. Everything is perception. If something hurts you, it hurts you, period. So the abuser loves to say that the empath or the target of abuse is too sensitive. You're too emotional. You're too this. You're too that. Fuck that shit. That's bullshit. That's a way that an abuser can continue to abuse. So anytime anybody does that, hello, Houston, problem. Your perceptions are your perceptions, and you have an absolute God-given fucking right to them, period. Ooh, makes me so angry, because this is how abusers abuse. They try to make us feel, because we're dealing with a little inner child, that little 5-year-old that's really susceptible to those little criticisms. They're trying to make us feel like we're bad and wrong. And how dare we feel? And how dare we be so sensitive? And how dare we don't allow them to continue to abuse us? That's really what the issue is. So there's that. Family minister. Ha! Thank you. Oh, God. Yeah. I'm like, wow, what's an FM? I thought it was family, but okay, family minister. Yeah, the HIPAA laws do not apply to the clergy. It should, but it doesn't, because they're not licensed therapists. They're religious therapists. That's completely different. So no, I don't think it's a good idea. No, you should absolutely don't do that. You are under no obligation. And if the minister doesn't understand it, give them the book, The Object of My Affection is in My Reflection, Coping with a Narcissist by Raquel Lerner. Have him read it first. Dude, this is what we're dealing with. Wake the fuck up and smell the goddamn coffee grounds. Hello, you cannot do therapy with a narcissist. It's fucking dangerous. That's why I don't do couples therapy when there is abuse involved. It's dangerous to the target of abuse because the abuser will take whatever is said in therapy and use it against them. Guarantee it. And therapists that don't know what they're doing will do that because nobody's bothered to train them. Did I mention that? Did I mention there's not enough training on domestic violence? Did I mention this? Okay. Best gray rock ever. The teacher saying Bueller from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Yes, totally agree. Or you're too sensitive. Yeah, they say that as well. Flying monkeys. Okay. Flying monkeys. Okay, I was using it as an abbreviation for flying monkeys. These people are on the other older ladies at the church. Oh, yeah. Nope, absolutely not. Fuck that shit. Nope, you are under no obligation. Nope, no way. Nope. What they're looking for is drama. You are the best entertainment since Housewives of Orange County or whatever that show is. I don't watch them, so I have no idea. I only watch the ghost stuff. So yeah, you're the best entertainment since whatever bullshit show is on that's all drama and shit. So flying monkeys live for drama. Narcissists live for drama. Wannabe narcissists live for drama. So yeah, you do not have to air your dirty laundry to any of these people. You do not. Abso-fucking-lutely not. Okay, so what else do we got? Quiet borderline, diagnosed at age 45, now 47, and I've done a lot of research. Pretty sure NARC created me. Yes. Ooh, and this is what I'm going to talk about next week, guys. So if you have borderline personality disorder, the quiet time, this is the lower end of the spectrum, Remember, there's hope for the lower end of the spectrum. When you reach malignant, not so much, but lower end of the spectrum. Yes. So get the Borderline Survival Guide by Chapman and Gratz. Get CPTSD, From Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. Why? Because borderline is created by trauma. Fuck, losing my brain. So it's created by trauma. It is based in trauma. So there's a reason that borderlines, especially the quiet ones, behave the way they do. So yes, get those books. Get with a good DBT therapist, start working on it. Go you, fantastic. Also, work on self-esteem with the Self-Esteem Workbook by Schiraldi. That's going to help a huge amount. So Wayne, good on you. Keep going. And yes, you're right. Narcissists probably did create you because it's based in trauma. And that trauma was not yours. It's not your baggage. Don't keep it. Hand that baggage off to the baggage carousel. It's not yours. So read CPTSD, From Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. Read the Borderline Survival Guide by Chapman and Gratz, and get the Self-Esteem Workbook by Schiraldi. Go you. Keep going. Okay. Pastor claims she knows about personality disorders. I tend to doubt that. Yeah. Well, make sure they understand this needs to be confidential. If you're going to go talk to somebody, make sure that there is some sort of HIPAA or some sort of confidentiality going on. Don't just take their word for it. Get it in writing. Big believer in that. What was the name of the book to recommend to clergy? It's called The Object of My Affection is in My Reflection, Coping with a Narcissist by Raquel Lerner. Fantastic book. It describes narcissistic personality disorder, and it describes it in all different settings, whether it's a lover, a spouse, whether it's a boss, whether it's a relative, whether it's a family member, a parent, etc. She goes into great detail. It was an amazing book to read. So read it, and have people who don't understand read it, because you cannot work with these people. There is no helping them. When they've reached malignancy, there is no helping them, okay? Get it through their heads. This is not going to be resolved. The family's not going to come back together. It's not magically going to be okay. Okay. I've already ordered several books and contacted the therapist in my community via the website you mentioned. Thank you so much. Oh, good. I finally feel sane and validated in setting boundaries. Yay, boundaries. Oh, yeah, and they're not going to like it, but that's okay. Keep setting boundaries. Hello from Atlanta. You're my answer to my prayers. I've never seen you before, and you're wonderful. Everything you're saying in my life, and I know I'm not crazy. Yeah, because they try to make us feel like we're crazy. That's their job. That's what they want. Because if we're the crazy ones, they're not the crazy ones. That's their crazy thinking. So if they can make us look insane, if they can make us be on the defensive, then we're the crazy ones. They're not. Again, it's the smear campaign. That's what they do. Can you please explain what part genetics plays in BPD? It is part genetics and part environment. So there is a predisposition to it. And I'm going to go further into that next week because, guys, I'm running out of time and I got places I got to go and my voice is giving out. So there is no Dana, only Zool. That's funny. Okay. Mother always told me you're too sensitive or too weak. Okay, yeah, that's you need a psychiatrist, anything to destroy the self-esteem. There's nothing wrong with needing to go see help. And they try to make the help something wrong because they don't want you to go get it. That's why they demonize going to a therapist. Well, you're weak if you need a therapist. You don't need a therapist. Only weak people need a therapist. Well, fuck that bullshit. No, you want to know what? Healthy people ask for help. Healthy people know when they're in trouble. Healthy people are the ones that go, hey, you know what? I can't do this on my own. I do need help. So you go and you get help. The hardest damn thing for an addict to do is to ask for help. And so when an abuser doesn't want us to get help, they will demonize getting help. Be aware of that. Okay. What is a good book to give to a young therapist who recommends couples counseling and confrontation in terms of issues with a narcissist? Again, Object of My Affection is in My Reflection, Coping with a Narcissist by Raquel Lerner. The other one you want to get them is CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. Basically, every single book I've ever recommended, make them read it. It's like when I talk to young therapists, when they're like, well, Chris, what books should I read? I'm like, do you have a parchment? Because I'm going to roll it out. These are the things you need to read. And here are the things you need to attend, and here's what you need to watch, and here's who you need to listen to. And yeah, absolutely. Have them listen to Richie Grannon. Dear God, he's awesome. I freaking love that man. He was so much fun to work with. Oh my God. Okay. And Melanie Tanya Evans, she's another one. She's way out there. I got to admit, she is way out there. But she has some really good stuff. So don't throw out the baby with the bathwater just because she gets all metaphysical and shit. But she's got some really good stuff. So Melanie Tanya Evans is another good one. Richie Grannon is another good one. I'm trying to think of who else do I stuff and things. All of the websites that I post on AHA Counseling, those are all great resources because it's from people who have been abused that know what the fuck they're talking about. And it's also from psychologists. Psychology Today has got some good stuff on it. So yeah, okay. Let's see. I have to get out. I don't know how, but at least I'm not crazy. No, you are not crazy, Deborah. Get a support group. You're going to need a support group. You need a safety exit. You need to talk with a therapist or somebody in domestic violence on how to leave safely. Because if your ex or your soon-to-be ex is an obsessive ex, you need to exit safely. You need to have a safety plan. You need to have money saved up in a bank. You need to have a separate account. You need to have all of this stuff in place so that you are safe when you leave. So yes, get with a support group of some sort, either a therapist or a support group. Absolutely. Pastor is a trained social worker. She is new. We don't know her that well. They've offered to give rides to Mother. Pastor says she cannot stop them unless we meet with these ladies. Get a new church. Just get a new church. You don't need this bullshit. Don't play. Don't play. You don't need to. Okay. We're thinking it's time to go. Yep. Go bye-bye. Find a different church. All right. When I started setting boundaries with my ex-narc, they started having numerous affairs, stonewalling, and gaslighting. All of that mess. It took me 8 years to get over. Yeah, sometimes it does take a long time. Absolutely. How do I get help? Okay, so I don't know where you are, Deborah, but go to Psychology Today, look for a therapist in your area. You want to get all the books that I've recommended and educate the hell out of yourself. You can also go to my AHA Counseling webpage, or not webpage, Facebook page, and I've got articles on everything you will need because I post all the frickin' time because I'm kind of obsessive compulsive like that. Got Pete Walker's book. Wish I'd read it many years ago. Yeah, it's a really good book, and it pertains, and we'll talk more about that next week as to why CPTSD pertains to BPD and how they affect each other. Oh yes, Kim Saeed. Yes, thank you. Yes, she's the other one. I fucking love her. She has yet to put something up there that I was like, not so much, but no, she's really great. Kim Saeed. Let Me Reach by Kim Saeed. And I don't know how she spells it, but yeah, Kim Saeed. She's amazing. I love her. So yeah, she's another one. So there's great people out there. There's great, there's more than just me. There's people with different perspectives. And that's why I said, give Melanie Tanya Evans a try, because she's a little more metaphysical. So if metaphysical stuff is your thing, I mean, it is with me too, but I don't go quite that far out. But she goes way, way out there. And if that's your thing, go check her out. If Kim Said speaks to you, go check her out. If Richie Grannon speaks to you, go check him out. Go educate yourself. Educate the hell out of yourself. Send people to those websites so that people understand. We need more education on this topic because people don't get it, because it's not discussed and people are not being trained in it. So there that is. She has a book. Oh, yeah. How to Go No Contact Like a Boss. I think that's Kim Said's, and if it's not, it's still a good book. So yes, and Kim Said also has a book. So check out all the books that we've all written. It's all awesome. I'm all about promoting everybody because, power to the people, If you're in the UK, good luck because you'll need it. Oh, yeah, I've heard that over and over again. That really is disturbing to me. So apparently the national health system there is not good. So yeah, okay. All right. Melanie is good. All right, fantastic. The swearing helps. Yes, it does. Why the fuck do you think I swear? Yes, I love swearing. It is very, very helpful. It is. As long as you're not swearing at somebody and you're just expressing, it's okay. Narcissists tend to swear at people. But expressing yourself, that's perfect, because we need to, because we've had a lot of shit in our lives. All right, guys, I gotta go. So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. Next week, I'm going to be discussing CPTSD, BPD, ASPD, oh, good God, NPD, I think I've got it all. So antisocial, narcissistic, borderline, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, bipolar. We're going to be talking about how they can all be misdiagnosed. I want to talk about the differences so everybody's got that, and how that, yes, you can help people on the lower end of the spectrum with borderline, not so much the higher end. We'll talk about why, and we're going to get that done. So anyway, you guys, love you. Fantastic. Thank you for so many awesome questions. I love you guys. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Talk to you next week. Mwah. Bye.